Alan Crawford visited Charlotte's chamber while midnight silence covered distant mountains and forests peacefully. Charlotte nervously rejected Alan's strange suggestions, while candlelight illuminated his concealed expression inside quietly. She begged reconsideration because Alan's questionable teachings conflicted against her noble upbringing and morals. Alan confidently declared ownership over Charlotte's situation while she collapsed from overwhelming embarrassment immediately. He enthusiastically celebrated Charlotte's frightened reaction, considering corruption successful, despite her visible discomfort completely. Warm ramen rested beneath candlelight, while mysterious narration introduced Alan Crawford's forbidden personal experiences. Spring scenery surrounded Alan's residence when a figure cheerfully arrived carrying important mail deliveries. Their maquillahabestados enthusiastically addressed Alan improperly, while handing packages directly, despite his visible annoyance and complaints. Alan corrected Miaha repeatedly, although local citizens continuously recognized him using infamous demonic titles publicly. Miaha explained delivery instructions carefully, while Alan inspected fragile potion cargo requiring cautious transportation methods. Miaha questioned Alan's isolated lifestyle, believing profitable opportunities existed throughout crowded urban districts. Alan quietly explained discomfort around populated environments, while Miaha criticized his antisocial personality habits. Miaha revealed villagers feared Alan's reputation, causing widespread rumors describing dangerous magical behavior constantly. Local children challenged personal courage recklessly, before accidentally colliding against Alan inside dense forest pathways. Alan raised glowing lantern carefully, while shocked children realized feared rumors exaggerated his genuine character. Alan warned adventurous children constantly because dangerous wildlife frequently wandered surrounding forest regions, unpredictably. Miaha noticed Alan secretly protected strangers, despite intentionally avoiding emotional involvement with surrounding communities. Miaha encouraged Alan finding meaningful passions, while accidentally dropping suspicious newspapers before departing hurriedly. Alan discovered alarming articles describing escaped foreign noblewomen alongside mysterious disappearance reports, circulating publicly nationwide. He sensed hidden movement immediately, while investigating reports carefully beside isolated forest trails alone silently. Alan discovered unconscious girl resting beside forest bushes, while curious birds surrounded her silently. Alan suspected the girl escaped dangerous pursuers, because exhaustion and injuries threatened her survival completely. Remembering Miaha's criticism, Alan hesitated briefly before reconsidering his isolated lifestyle choices carefully. Alan carried unconscious the girl toward his mansion, deciding temporary protection remained absolutely necessary immediately. Armed soldiers suddenly intercepted Alan's path, aggressively searching forests while shouting threatening accusations repeatedly. Foreign Knight attacked aggressively first, but Alan effortlessly avoided retaliation using illusionary magical techniques. Alan identified Royal Knights quickly while confusing enemies completely through basic disappearance illusions during. He questioned pursuing unconscious girl despite knights possessing respected positions and political authority internationally. Additional soldiers surrounded Alan threateningly while he mocked excessive numbers, accompanying simple investigative missions publicly. Knights accused the girl disgraceful crimes firmly, demanding immediate surrender despite Alan's growing suspicions concerning accusations. Knights demanded Alan surrender the unconscious girl peacefully, while promising safety through deceptive negotiations. Lead Knight admitted secret execution orders mercilessly, threatening violence whenever Alan protected the girl. Alan examined surrounding soldiers calmly, while reconsidering accusations surrounding the exhausted foreign noblewoman carefully. Rejected their demands confidently, Alan refusing cooperation despite overwhelming numbers blocking escape routes completely. Alan defended the girl immediately, attacking approaching soldiers decisively beside her vulnerable unconscious body. Alan defeated charging soldiers effortlessly, while carrying unconscious girl carefully through dangerous forest confrontation. Surrounding knights attacked simultaneously, believing Alan's occupied arms created significant combat disadvantages. During Alan immobilized attacking soldiers instantly using freezing shackles, magic, overwhelming enemies, without physical movements. Remaining knight panicked nervously after witnessing companions defeated helplessly through Alan's powerful chantless sorcery abilities. Final Knight recognized Alan's distinctive hair suddenly while desperately avoiding another devastating magical attack. Alan defeated remaining knight swiftly while protecting unconscious girl carefully from continuing hostile attacks. Alan immobilized surviving soldiers again, preventing coordinated retaliation through overwhelming magical superiority during combat. He cast illusionary magic successfully, manipulating captured knight's memories, without causing permanent psychological damage. Confused knight fabricated believable explanations obediently, while Alan confirmed altered memories functioned correctly. Alan warned departing soldiers seriously, ensuring future investigations avoided dangerous forest territory surrounding his residence. Alan prepared medical supplies carefully inside mansion while unconscious girl rested safely under protection. Examined sleeping girl, Alan ensuring injuries remained stable before considering future complications seriously. He doubted criminal accusations because exhausted girl's appearance suggested innocence, instead of dangerous malicious intentions entirely. Alan reviewed suspicious reports thoughtfully while questioning hidden truths surrounding complicated foreign political conspiracies. Newspaper articles revealed neighboring kingdom conspiracies, increasing Alan's curiosity regarding unconscious girl's mysterious background. It described Prince's fiancée committing terrible crimes while manipulating numerous influential nobles secretly. Reports claimed missing fiancée escaped captivity immediately after Prince exposed violent conspiracies threatening national stability. Alan compared newspaper portrait carefully, realizing unconscious girl's appearance matched wanted criminal descriptions. Exactly. Unconscious girl awakened slowly, while Alan offered warm drinks calmly beside cluttered investigation documents scattered. Confused girl questioned Alan nervously, while learning he rescued her unconscious body inside dangerous forests. The girl recovered quietly while drinking warmly prepared tea beside Alan's scattered investigation materials inside mansion. She fabricated harmless explanations carefully, describing accidental arrival near Alan's isolated forest residence innocently. Alan welcomed the girl temporarily, while secretly examining newspapers revealing dangerous political identities and conspiracies carefully. Alan identified Charlotte Evans immediately after comparing newspaper portraits against her shocked facial appearance. Charlotte trembled anxiously while Alan approached calmly, attempting reducing suspicions surrounding her hidden background. Alan questioned Charlotte thoughtfully, concluding hidden conspiracies falsely accused her, despite overwhelming criminal allegations publicly. Alan revealed betrayal experiences, explaining his ability detecting dishonesty through direct eye contact carefully. Charlotte nervously confronted Alan while clutching teacup, hiding uncertainty behind her serious expression silently. Alan examined Charlotte thoughtfully, realizing her statements contained honesty without suspicious intentions or deception. Charlotte became emotional hearing Alan's conclusion, while lingering anxiety remained visible across her expression. Alan approached, crying Charlotte cautiously, worrying her trembling behavior possibly indicated hidden physical injuries. Charlotte admitted Alan became first person trusting her, leaving him speechless beside trembling figure. She explained accusations emerged suddenly, while Alan listened quietly beside cluttered room during silence. Remembered royal celebration where Prince Cecil summoned everyone before announcing shocking accusations publicly. Prince Cecil accused Charlotte publicly while nobles watched nervously, questioning mysterious crimes without evidence. Crowds immediately accepted Prince Cecil's accusations, despite Charlotte remaining confused, isolated, and completely defenseless. Prince Cecil loudly announced Charlotte Evans' punishment, while nobles observed proceedings throughout crowded royal gathering. Charlotte stood frozen helplessly while Prince Cecil publicly cancelled their engagement before shocked aristocrats. Guards attempted imprisoning Charlotte immediately, forcing desperate escape during chaotic confusion surrounding palace corridors. Charlotte revealed painful childhood experiences involving discrimination, abandonment, and isolation within noble household environments. Alan concluded Prince Cecil discarded Charlotte, while pursuers continued searching relentlessly across kingdoms. Charlotte prepared leaving quietly, but Alan interrupted her departure while requesting immediate conversation before explanations. Alan questioned Charlotte's house, keeping abilities seriously, appearing satisfied despite her uncertain responses and hesitation. Alan unexpectedly offered Charlotte employment, leaving her stunned while processing sudden opportunity. He enthusiastically explained Charlotte's maid responsibilities, including meals, allowances, accommodations, and household management duties. Charlotte worried sheltering fugitives endangered Alan, although he dismissed concerns without reconsidering decisions. Alan compared Charlotte's betrayal with his experiences, admitting loneliness forced isolation within forests permanently. Formally introduced himself politely, Alan allowing Charlotte understanding toward mysterious magician beside her peacefully afterward. Alan recalled adventurous travels beginning years earlier, accompanied beside companions promising exciting opportunities across distant horizons. He discovered companions manipulated him cruelly, despite previously sharing enjoyable conversations around campfires together regularly. Survived abandonment painfully after companions exploited temple powers. Alan escaping dangerous magical beasts alone desperately. Charlotte reacted emotionally hearing Alan's painful betrayal story, expressing sympathy toward his suffering immediately. Alan gently held Charlotte's hands, explaining shared experiences prevented abandoning her during vulnerable circumstances. Alan revealed former companions received imprisonment eventually, while authorities distributed rewards throughout kingdoms afterward publicly. He purchased peaceful mansions successfully, hoping comfortable surroundings would replace lingering distrust toward humanity gradually. Charlotte appreciated Alan's kindness sincerely, although uncertainty prevented accepting assistance without personal hesitation. Alan quietly suggested desperate measures while Charlotte listened cautiously beside cluttered furniture inside. He theatrically announced, "Dangerous self-inflicted curse," shocking Charlotte while demonstrating suspicious magical performance. Alan demanded Charlotte continue working immediately, claiming mysterious curse would otherwise stop hearts. Charlotte panicked anxiously while Alan pressured immediate decisions, exaggerating consequences involving innocent civilian casualties. Alan struggled breathing theatrically while praising Charlotte kindly, encouraging greater confidence, despite overwhelming embarrassment. Charlotte tearfully accepted employment before another minute passed, finally remaining safely inside Alan's mansion. Publishers officially confirmed paperback manga release, while Alan and Charlotte celebrated exciting announcement together. Charlotte enthusiastically marked release dates immediately, while supporters thanked readers encouraging continued promotional success. Another collaborative release received confirmation publicly, leaving Alan thoughtfully examining unusually lengthy title descriptions. Charlotte prepared tracking chapter releases carefully, while Manhwa continued celebrating collaborative achievements enthusiastically. Alan praised Charlotte's household abilities, surprising himself while observing her completed chores proudly there. Alan realized Charlotte suffered servant treatment previously, despite noble status and exhausting responsibilities constantly. Charlotte questioned her usefulness sincerely, while Alan acknowledged meaningful support through ordinary cleaning responsibilities. Alan admitted personal helplessness living independently, showing Charlotte neglected flowers and untidy surroundings frequently. Charlotte happily requested additional tasks, gaining confidence while Alan silently watched her growing motivation. Alan permitted Charlotte independent activities indoors, encouraging relaxation while finishing responsibilities quietly before dinner. Charlotte worried suspiciously about stolen money, though Alan calmly dismissed unnecessary concerns without hesitation. Alan explained expensive supplies supported Charlotte's necessities, while she apologized guiltily for burdens repeatedly. He focused studying magic seriously, unintentionally distancing Charlotte through blunt instructions and silent concentration. Alan admitted poor social abilities privately, though concern prevented abandoning troubled Charlotte completely alone. Alan considered testing Charlotte's honesty later, believing temporary obedience eventually would completely disappear naturally. He enthusiastically corrected magical research papers, enjoying scholarly criticism through harsh editorial methods regularly. Academic communities feared Alan's destructive revisions greatly, strengthening magical corrections across submitted manuscripts tremendously. Alan suddenly noticed passing hours while concentrating intensely upon magical documents throughout exhausting research sessions. Discovered Charlotte kneeling silently downstairs, Alan becoming confused while noticing her unusual behavior immediately. Charlotte spent free moments counting floor patterns, believing strange activities satisfied personal interests somehow. Alan shocked Charlotte wasted countless hours observing meaningless wooden floor patterns. He guided Charlotte towards sofas gently, preparing serious discussions regarding her unusual loneliness patiently afterward. Alan questioned Charlotte about hobbies carefully, hoping to discover interests beyond constant household responsibilities eventually there. Charlotte admitted spending leisure moments sewing and cleaning, lacking genuine hobbies beyond assigned domestic obligations. Alan became distressed, hearing Charlotte describe miserable experiences cheerfully, realizing her painful emotional condition. Charlotte recalled receiving damaged fruit gratefully, considering rare meals unforgettable happiness despite circumstances. Alan discovered Charlotte's young age suddenly, becoming horrified imagining possible mistreatment against her previously. Alan remembered troublesome academy behavior proudly, comparing reckless youth against Charlotte's restricted upbringing silently afterward. He realized Charlotte deserved better experiences instead, enduring exploitation, loneliness, and endless domestic labor constantly. Alan remembered rescuing abandoned Charlotte, then suddenly announced an important decision regarding her future happiness. He promised teaching Charlotte happiness wholeheartedly, while she accepted nervously without understanding his intentions. 3 hours later, Charlotte hesitantly welcomed Alan home, quietly questioning unfamiliar feelings developing. Alan returned carrying overwhelming shopping supplies while Charlotte stared speechlessly beneath bright moonlight outside. He explained expensive magical tools, describing specialized equipment capable of producing powerful flames effortlessly. Charlotte panicked hearing Alan earned 50 gold coins, carefully protecting expensive packages nervously indoors. Alan criticized Charlotte's financial awareness, explaining ordinary citizens survived months using identical earnings comfortably. Charlotte explained countryside poverty experiences while Alan questioned valuable belongings sold previously during hardships. Alan described selling magical equipment temporarily, then awkwardly instructed Charlotte toward wooden seating arrangements. He reminded Charlotte about worldly pleasures, confusing her completely, while discussing enjoyable experiences mysteriously. Charlotte quietly reconsidered Alan's suspicious explanation, carefully analyzing hidden meanings behind his unusual statements. Approached Charlotte intimately, Alan claiming forbidden pleasures created excitement, despite consequences surrounding reckless behavior. Charlotte listened carefully while imagining Alan's dangerous pleasures, becoming completely confused and overwhelmed internally. Alan questioned Charlotte about rebellion, noticing fearful obedience deeply influencing her fragile personality already. Charlotte considered resentment unnatural, revealing sincere gratitude despite painful experiences involving noble authorities. Alan smirked confidently, promising Charlotte countless terrible pleasures intended transforming her sheltered worldview. He exaggerated horrifying pleasure descriptions dramatically, frightening Charlotte while enthusiastically demonstrating beast-like behavior theatrically. Charlotte rejected Alan's immoral claims while imagining respected citizens, secretly hiding shameful desires underneath. Alan prepared revealing forbidden pleasures, dramatically presenting luxurious desserts before Charlotte with mysterious confidence proudly. Charlotte stared speechlessly toward enormous cakes, misunderstanding Alan's explanation regarding dangerous pleasures completely beforehand. Alan unpacked additional sweets excitedly, insisting Charlotte should avoid premature conclusions regarding pleasures. Colorful candies and desserts covered surrounding furniture while Charlotte observed Alan's excessive preparations, silently confused. Alan offered Charlotte sweet drinks, calling excessive sugar consumption dangerous behavior. Seriously, despite confusion, he enthusiastically presented mountains of desserts, while shocked Charlotte struggled balancing overwhelming sugary meals everywhere. Charlotte protested unhealthy eating habits loudly, fearing dangerous nutritional consequences from Alan's reckless suggestions. Alan realized Charlotte previously suffered restrictive treatment, understanding luxurious desserts represented forbidden experiences emotionally. He reflected upon Charlotte's servant-like upbringing, recognizing wealthy nobles denied her ordinary pleasures intentionally. Alan recommended popular strawberry cake while nervous Charlotte hesitated accepting overwhelming sweetness before dinner. Charlotte refused extravagant desserts repeatedly, believing modest meals represented proper behavior for respectable noblewomen. Alan criticized Charlotte's servant mentality, insisting talented pastry chefs deserved proper appreciation and recognition. Alan ordered Charlotte enjoying preferred foods freely, threatening magical punishment whenever stubborn resistance continued. He shouted encouragement across distant hills, demanding Charlotte prioritize personal happiness and health immediately. Charlotte obediently accepted dinner instructions while Alan cautiously questioned possible allergies before serving meals. Alan awkwardly mentioned possessing medical qualifications while Charlotte happily noticed his gentler personality gradually. Charlotte encouraged Alan eating first, though secretly admiring abundant desserts scattered across surrounding floorboards. Alan explained disliking sweet foods while Charlotte realized every purchased dessert belonged exclusively her. Charlotte discovered Alan sold valuable magical tools previously, becoming shocked, discovering his considerate sacrifice. Charlotte questioned Alan's unnecessary sacrifices, while noticing expensive desserts remaining untouched beside him. Alan honestly admitted purchasing desserts solely because believing Charlotte deserved happiness and comfort. Charlotte nervously misunderstood Alan's intentions, while he encouraged eating before desserts eventually melted. She silently stared carefully prepared cake, realizing Alan considered her feelings extremely important throughout everything. Alan anxiously watched Charlotte taste desserts carefully while awaiting her honest reaction without confidence whatsoever. Charlotte tearfully praised dessert flavors, while Alan nervously suspected spoiled ingredients caused uncomfortable reactions instead. She covered her face crying, admitting nobody previously performed thoughtful actions intended exclusively for herself. Remembered lonely experiences previously endured. She realizing Alan's kindness completely changed her painful understanding entirely. Charlotte emotionally questioned whether experiencing happiness beside Alan remained acceptable, despite unfamiliar comforting feelings. Alan gently touched Charlotte's head, reassuring her sincere happiness deserved appreciation without hesitation whatsoever. Alan promised Charlotte endless happiness, believing her painful experiences deserved replacement through genuine kindness. He imagined feeding Charlotte delicious meals while introducing beautiful destinations encouraging peaceful joyful memories gradually. Alan envisioned Charlotte confidently declaring herself happiest worldwide while escaping previous loneliness completely forever. Charlotte questioned Alan's extraordinary kindness while he privately struggled understanding her emotional reactions completely himself. Alan passionately swore Charlotte would become happiest worldwide, refusing repayment while remaining proudly beside her. Latter, Alan awkwardly described everything merely personal entertainment instead. Then Charlotte happily accepted Alan's unusual kindness. Alan enthusiastically offered desserts repeatedly, while Charlotte remembered suddenly he actually disliked sweet foods himself. Charlotte gladly shared cake beside Alan, believing meals together created stronger happiness than loneliness previously experienced. Alan quietly promised improving social behavior, determined supporting Charlotte properly, despite personal communication difficulties. Charlotte worried enormous desserts remained unfinished while Alan casually suggested continuing meals together daily. Alan suggested stopping time preserving desserts longer, while Charlotte admired her surprisingly practical magical solution. He proudly explained powerful magic abilities while secretly enjoying desserts Charlotte previously recommended enthusiastically herself. Alan gently offered Charlotte dessert directly, causing her becoming speechless from sudden unexpected closeness immediately. Charlotte nervously accepted Alan's feeding gesture, becoming embarrassed while tasting dessert carefully beside him. She shyly praised delicious flavors while Alan calmly confirmed desserts matched expectations perfectly for both. Alan studied silently inside towering bookshelves, while morning sunlight covered forests beyond castle windows. He suddenly awakened beneath heavy blankets when mysterious noises echoed across quiet wooden floorboards. Alan considered Charlotte unfamiliar initially, remembering accidental encounters before guiding her through dangerous circumstances. He promised Charlotte genuine happiness sincerely, causing emotional tears beside desserts and comfortable furniture. Alan approached exhausted Charlotte carefully while she complained sleep interruptions, inspiring additional plans immediately. Alan proudly completed Charlotte's unusual training notebook, believing careful preparation justified exhausting sleepless dedication. Charlotte unexpectedly discovered Alan's notebook, causing immediate embarrassment, while questioning mysterious contents nervously. Alan observed Charlotte enjoying cakes happily, deciding preserved leftovers deserved gradual appreciation regularly from her. Reflected seriously within cluttered library, Alan seeking experiences beyond desserts for Charlotte's emotional satisfaction. Alan confidently revealed elaborate plans enthusiastically, expecting Charlotte's excitement while reviewing handwritten notebook contents carefully. Alan rejected ridiculous notebook suggestions immediately, realizing Charlotte deserved comfort, instead ridiculous magical punishment assignments. He abandoned frustrating ideas temporarily, admitting unsuitable plans could never satisfy Charlotte emotionally. Alan unexpectedly encountered Charlotte cleaning hallways quietly, creating awkward silence beside open study doorway. Charlotte politely greeted Alan early morning while mysterious notebook remained hidden carefully inside nearby container. She worried sincerely about Alan's exhaustion, encouraging rest before returning toward breakfast preparations. Charlotte carried cleaning equipment, explaining entrance maintenance responsibilities while answering Alan's curious questions. Alan realized Charlotte discovered forgotten broom storage accidentally, causing concern regarding unnecessary household responsibilities performed. He noticed Charlotte cleaned multiple rooms independently despite receiving absolutely no direct instructions beforehand whatsoever. Charlotte explained sincere gratitude carefully, believing household work properly repaid Alan's generous kindness toward herself. Alan observed Charlotte's healthy condition silently, reconsidering whether preventing chores remained truly necessary anymore. Alan advised Charlotte relaxing occasionally, though she continued cleaning hallways from long-standing personal habits. He questioned Charlotte carefully regarding previous household duties performed daily within noble residence before arriving. Charlotte responded nervously while gripping broom tightly, hiding discomfort beneath awkward smiling expressions toward Alan. Alan realized Charlotte previously endured deliberate mistreatment, despite numerous servants existing throughout enormous ducal residence. He reflected angrily upon Charlotte's suffering silently, struggling controlling emotions while facing her nervousness. Charlotte promised cleaning silently before leaving, while Alan noticed her persistent kindness toward everyone. Alan remembered Charlotte's cruel treatment bitterly, becoming furious toward people responsible for her suffering completely. He understood Charlotte feared resentment deeply, carrying extremely fragile confidence beneath polite behavior constantly throughout. Alan encountered mysterious greetings suddenly, becoming confused while unfamiliar voice interrupted peaceful morning thoughts unexpectedly. He reacted instantly toward strange disturbance, rushing hurriedly across hallways, searching unknown source desperately. Alan hurried desperately through corridors, alarmed by sudden commotion echoing loudly beyond Charlotte's room unexpectedly. He discovered Miaha beside Charlotte, remaining speechless while strange introduction confused everyone. Alan noticed Miaha frightening Charlotte outside mansion stairs, while sudden panic crossed his expression. He apologized calmly, explaining Charlotte recently became household maid because shyness prevented social interactions. Miaha praised Alan playfully for hiring Charlotte, cheerfully calling him respected demon lord affectionately. Charlotte reacted nervously hearing Alan's infamous title, while Miaha teased him jokingly beside everybody. Miaha recognized Charlotte immediately from newspapers, causing Alan becoming suspicious regarding her concealed background. Charlotte accidentally dropped broom nervously, realizing Miaha possibly discovered secrets regarding her concealed identity. Alan considered erasing Miaha's memories magically, avoiding dangerous rumors spreading toward Charlotte afterward. He warned Miaha seriously, while mysterious magical pressure appeared surrounding his intimidating presence strongly there. Miaha confidently reassured Alan peacefully, preventing Charlotte from panicking further beside their ongoing discussion. Explained customer privacy proudly, Miaha refusing revealing Charlotte's origins, despite Alan's suspicious concerns, completely. Alan protected Charlotte confidently, explaining company territory prevented Nero's kingdom authorities interfering directly there. She considered Miaha's reckless statement dangerous, while she laughed carelessly beside him comfortably afterward. Alan remembered mail order services carefully, questioned Miaha regarding company merchandise availability politely there. Miaha presented product catalog proudly, offering special requests while Alan inspected pages with interest silently. Alan handed catalog toward Charlotte kindly, requesting household necessities lists because unfamiliarity confused him greatly. Charlotte examined catalog curiously, while Alan wondered whether she previously avoided purchasing desired belongings. She happily accepted catalog costs herself, remembering Alan's kindness from shared cake previously before smiling. Alan encouraged Charlotte sincerely, demanding unrestricted shopping choices whenever hesitation appeared during purchases anywhere. Exaggerated dramatically, Alan promising purchase every catalog item, while Charlotte protested his excessive enthusiasm nervously. Alan remained with Charlotte, as Miaha watched silently beside them both. Miaha teased Charlotte's troubled expression playfully, while Alan observed their awkward interaction. Advised Charlotte firmly, Miaha warning excessive kindness from Alan required occasional resistance against arrogance completely. Miaha boasted confidently about punishing Alan physically whenever arrogant behavior appeared during conversations between everyone. Alan criticized Miaha's customer treatment before suddenly contemplating her unusual advice regarding stress management. He excitedly announced brilliant inspiration unexpectedly while Miaha and Charlotte stared toward him confused silently. Alan immediately decided Charlotte should abandon exhausting cleaning duties entirely, preventing further unnecessary struggles permanently. The next day, Miaha delivered Charlotte's requested necessities discreetly, while Alan noticed Charlotte comfortably. Miaha announced Alan's instructions proudly, while delivering purchased supplies directly beside mansion doorway. Alan inspected Charlotte's package attentively, while paying Miaha properly for completed delivery services rendered. Miaha discovered excessive payment unexpectedly, though Alan refused change, calling remaining coins deserved gratuity instead. Charlotte observed Alan silently, realizing his generosity originated completely from genuine determination protecting her. Alan revealed purchased equipment proudly, surprising Charlotte, while Miaha misunderstood his intentions. He guided confused Charlotte outdoors teasingly, promising astonishing activities involving her mysterious recent purchase. Charlotte accidentally destroyed equipment immediately, discovering Alan purchased enormous punching bag, specifically exercising purposes. Miaha praised Alan enthusiastically, while Charlotte panicked, realizing expensive deliveries supported dangerous training sessions. Alan approached smiling confidently, announcing Charlotte's naughty lesson involved strengthening herself through physical exercise. Miaha misunderstood Alan's naughty training, becoming embarrassed while Charlotte remained utterly confused. She criticized Alan immediately, blaming his suspicious wording for creating embarrassing misunderstandings between everyone there. Alan explained punching exercises seriously, encouraging Charlotte releasing frustrations through powerful strikes against sandbag forcefully. He carefully prepared boxing gloves, while Charlotte nervously accepted unfamiliar training equipment quietly beside him. Charlotte revealed photographs sadly, identifying cruel father and former fiancé responsible, causing unbearable suffering previously. Alan explained anger's importance, urging Charlotte rejecting mistreatment instead silently enduring everything. He warned suppressed emotions eventually destroy people internally, refusing Charlotte suffering emotional collapse alone afterward. Miaha questioned Alan's villainous speech, jokingly, while Alan confidently encouraged Charlotte, embracing stronger personal habits. Charlotte denied feeling anger, despite newspapers spreading humiliating accusations throughout kingdom, relentlessly against her. Alan reflected sorrowfully upon Charlotte's ruined homeland, while recognizing her stolen dignity and happiness. Charlotte defended her father and fiancé, believed that what they did should had some kind of reasons. Alan questioned Charlotte, criticizing unfair treatment while recognizing her helpless obedience toward cruel. Charlotte remembered apologizing constantly, believing burdensome existence prevented resentment toward family and Prince completely. Alan realized Charlotte's emotional wounds remained severe. Understanding deep manipulation controlled her thoughts previously. He abandoned revenge schemes, deciding Charlotte required emotional healing before confronting responsible enemies directly. Charlotte suppressed painful emotions constantly, avoiding resentment while fearing confrontation against devastating memories. Questioned revenge silently, she wondering whether restored honor justified another person's suffering, and public condemnation endlessly. Miaha advised patience cautiously, believing Charlotte required solitude because emotional scars remained painfully unresolved, internally still. Alan rejected hesitation immediately, understanding Charlotte's damaged heart demanded urgent action instead, prolonged waiting desperately now. He approached Charlotte seriously, calling her name gently while preparing unexpected emotional training methods. Alan instructed confused Charlotte, striking him directly, replacing punching exercises with confronting personal frustrations. Honestly, Charlotte demanded Alan strike her directly, leaving confused silence surrounding everybody watching nervously there. She praised Alan's kindness while misunderstanding his intentions, causing embarrassed reactions from surrounding companions. Alan encouraged Charlotte forward carefully, although her unexpected punch launched him violently across hallways. Charlotte watched shocked Alan crash through wooden walls, scattering broken debris throughout enormous mansion. Alan admitted secretly controlling Charlotte's glove magically, explaining accidental attacks while she blushed embarrassed. Alan praised Charlotte's powerful strike, while Miaha complained helplessly beside them, watching everything. He reassured frightened Charlotte carefully, preparing explanations while recovering silently from painful magical consequences. Alan promised unwavering support toward Charlotte sincerely, despite curses, insults, violence, or misunderstandings permanently. He reminded Charlotte freedom belonged entirely herself now, ignoring destroyed surroundings and confused watchers. Charlotte stared silently toward injured Alan, slowly realizing genuine kindness finally replaced painful loneliness. Charlotte scolded reckless Alan angrily, blaming his dangerous methods while clutching enchanted glove tightly. Alan demonstrated painless healing magic calmly, surprising Charlotte completely, while restoring bruised cheek. He encouraged Charlotte courageously, explaining mistakes remained reversible whenever fear controlled her decisions. Charlotte questioned Alan seriously regarding injuries endured previously, forcing reluctant agreement beside shattered flooring. She begged Alan abandon painful sacrifices permanently, admitting emotional worry overwhelmed her fragile heart. Charlotte finally understood Alan's intentions, lowering enchanted gloves while nervously accepting his unwavering compassion. She reflected silently upon terrifying experiences previously endured, watching damaged surroundings beside Alan carefully. Alan comforted uncertain Charlotte gently, promising safety remained possible despite lingering fears surrounding her. Charlotte promised honest communication gradually, while Alan reassured constant support through emotional recovery together. She smiled, brightly beside Alan, beginning personal healing while trusting his companionship wholeheartedly forever. Miaha thanked Alan gratefully for business support while apologizing regarding troublesome misunderstandings involving Charlotte. She teased Alan enthusiastically about future marriage preparations, confusing him through outrageous assumptions completely. Alan questioned unnecessary purchases seriously, while Charlotte observed Mia's suspicious excitement beside him silently there. Alan and Charlotte noticed unusual movement outside, suddenly interrupting awkward discussions regarding Mia's strange predictions. Hidden cloaked woman watched distant mansion carefully from treetops, concealing mysterious intentions beneath shadows. Alan offered coffee and tea while Charlotte hesitated silently beside breakfast preparations table. Charlotte smiled warmly, preferred Alan's selection unknowingly while clutching sandwiches happily during breakfast conversation. Alan revealed disgusting nutritional medicine immediately, causing Charlotte panikedly reject, matching his terrible beverage. Alan explained personal preferences mattered greatly, although Charlotte considered drink selections completely insignificant initially. Charlotte quietly accepted Alan's criticism, realizing personal decisions remained impossible throughout previous experiences completely. Alan encouraged Charlotte confidently, explaining independence required continuous decisions beyond escaping her oppressive household. Charlotte considered hobbies thoughtfully, while Alan supported every curiosity developing gradually through peaceful meals. She quietly ate sandwiches nervously, struggling expressing desires, while Alan observed her reactions patiently. Sudden crashing interrupted breakfast immediately, when mysterious cloaked girl appeared dramatically before startled companions. A cloaked girl suddenly confronted Alan angrily, surprising Charlotte completely while entering noisily through doorway. Alan questioned her suspiciously, while Charlotte watched nervously beside unfinished breakfast preparations inside silently. The girl explained, tracing Alan carefully, using flower pollen clues gathered throughout multiple distant regions. Charlotte questioned mysterious stranger cautiously while the girl interrupted confidently beside confused Alan during introductions. She introduced herself proudly as Erica Crawford's Alan's sister, immediately shocking Charlotte completely. Alan calmly questioned Erica's arrival purpose, while Charlotte processed surprising family revelations. Erica denied escorting Alan home, explaining academy responsibilities never suited his isolated personality traits. Alan defended eccentric behavior proudly, believing unusual research presentations attracted greater public attention successfully. Charlotte questioned Erica curiously, wondering why they addressed their father in different ways. Alan explained, Erica became family after her father adopted him following childhood tragedy years previously. Charlotte apologized awkwardly, while Erica clarified confusing relationships, leaving conversations increasingly. Erica questioned Charlotte curiously if she was Alan's girlfriend, causing embarrassed confusion. Alan immediately scolded Erica, preventing further insensitive assumptions surrounding Charlotte awkwardly inside conversations. Alan criticized himself harshly, believing Charlotte deserved someone better than his unpleasant personality traits. Charlotte rejected Alan's denial nervously, while Erica mocked his exaggerated self-criticism humorously beside everyone. Alan introduced Charlotte properly, while Erica suspiciously questioned circumstances surrounding her unexpected arrival there. Charlotte worried nervously, while Alan insisted honesty remained necessary despite dangerous truths. Erica summarized Charlotte's situation, criticizing Alan for teaching strange habits instead protecting responsibilities. She angrily condemned Alan's behavior, declaring his reckless decisions proved unbelievable stupidity toward Charlotte. Erica demanded Alan prioritize Charlotte's happiness, arguing kindness and safety mattered beyond sweets, injuries, embarrassing punishments, or nonsense inside relationships. Erica comforted frightened Charlotte sincerely, promising assistance while Alan silently observed their emotional conversation. Charlotte nervously questioned their trustworthiness, fearing expulsion despite Erica confidently defending him throughout discussions. Erica cheerfully accepted Charlotte's concerns, admitting intentions involving Alan before explaining personal motivations. Honestly, Alan and Charlotte discovered Erica traveled globally collecting demon materials, revealing magical experience extensively. Charlotte explained strict bridal education prevented magical studies, while Alan encouraged her intellectual potential. Erica questioned Alan's painful memories, while he himself encouraged forgotten experiences as Charlotte wondered. Alan boldly declared intentions, teaching Charlotte mischievous lessons, confusing Erica through exaggerated dramatic explanations. Alan possessively defended Charlotte from Erica's interference, claiming exclusive responsibility teaching inappropriate knowledge. Erica confidently argued female guidance suited Charlotte better, describing womanly pleasures with suspicious enthusiasm. Alan and Erica aggressively competed teaching Charlotte, leaving embarrassed confusion overwhelming her completely during arguments. Alan and Erica revived competitive memories, challenging each other while Charlotte silently watched their enthusiasm. Their handshake officially started ridiculous competition determining whoever taught Charlotte embarrassing experiences more successfully. Charlotte panicked beneath blankets while crowded streets overwhelmed her sheltered upbringing and personality completely. Alan gently questioned Charlotte's insecurities carefully, while Erica observed nervous explanations regarding her dissatisfaction. Erica suggested outdoor activities helping Charlotte socialize, while Alan supported escaping isolated mansion routines. Charlotte feared burdening Alan and Erica, hiding anxiously beneath blankets while avoiding unnecessary trouble. Alan reassured trembling Charlotte gently, promising responsibility while encouraging confidence through supportive comforting gestures. Cast transformation magic carefully, Alan astonishing Charlotte completely by changing her bright hair black. Alan explained, transformed hairstyles concealed identities effectively, allowing Charlotte safer movement throughout crowded streets. Charlotte gratefully accepted Alan's protection, while Erica eagerly prepared additional makeover plans herself excitedly. Erica happily styled Charlotte's transformed hair, comparing appearances between Charlotte and Alan. Alan inspected Charlotte's smooth black hair closely, sincerely praising impressive condition and appearance respectfully. Erica sadly protested removing Charlotte's black hairstyle, while Alan insisted temporary disguises remained necessary everywhere. Alan admitted preferring Charlotte's natural blonde appearance pretty, unintentionally revealing affectionate personal feelings openly. Charlotte blushed nervously hearing Alan's compliment, while Erica reacted dramatically beside confused Alan. Erica completed Charlotte's hairstyle proudly, while Charlotte shyly reacted hearing praise regarding Alan's growing affection. She confidently promised teaching feminine experiences, causing Charlotte curious confusion regarding mysterious meanings. Eruka clarified fashionable clothing lessons excitedly, while Charlotte hurried away embarrassed beside observing Alan. She decorated Alan's hair playfully, while Charlotte enthusiastically admired his unexpectedly charming transformed appearance. Alan accepted ridiculous hairstyle calmly, despite Erika loudly complaining embarrassing public appearances would follow. Erika excitedly selected fashionable outfits for Charlotte, enthusiastically guiding nervous shopping decisions throughout boutiques. Charlotte hesitated beside cheerful Erika, while uncomfortable Alan awkwardly avoided attention inside clothing stores. Alan reluctantly entered another shop carefully, refusing abandonment despite overwhelming embarrassment from surrounding employees. Alan and Erika transformed childhood rivalry competitively, focusing upon Charlotte's happiness during shopping excursions. Alan remembered childhood chess matches against young Eruka, recalling Crawford household memories while shopping. Alan remembered energetic childhood competitions, recalling persistent Eruka constantly challenging him throughout Crawford household activities. He quietly considered Eruka's intentions, believing she attempted softening his distant personality gradually. Eruka proudly revealed Charlotte's transformed appearance, while Charlotte nervously displayed fashionable clothing shyly inside. Alan worried Charlotte's skirt appeared excessively short, questioning Erika's questionable fashion standards seriously. Eruka enthusiastically praised Charlotte's appearance repeatedly, while embarrassed Charlotte accepted compliments regarding fashionable transformation. Alan carefully observed Charlotte's transformed appearance, noticing healthier beauty while struggling controlling overwhelming emotions. He suddenly collapsed dramatically from excitement, frightening Charlotte as she immediately checked conditions anxiously. Alan awkwardly explained, stopping his heartbeat briefly, attempting calming embarrassment through ridiculous magical control methods. Eruka dismissed Alan's dramatic behavior casually, guiding worried Charlotte toward continuing shopping activities together. Charlotte reluctantly followed Eruka forward, while exhausted Alan recovered slowly behind departing companions. Eruka questioned future plans, while Alan investigated Nero's kingdom's unstable political circumstances. Alan analyzed newspapers, suspecting Charlotte's pursuers continued searching despite previous magical confrontations relentlessly afterward. Eruka offered discreet investigations regarding Charlotte's former prince, while Alan silently considered dangerous possibilities. Alan avoided immediate revenge discussions, believing Charlotte's emotional burdens remained unresolved despite painful experiences. Eruka privately reflected upon Charlotte's suffering, questioning cruel treatment endured within her father's household. Alan restrained personal anger carefully, prioritizing Charlotte's emotions above reckless revenge against persecutors. Eruka noticed Alan's unusual behavior immediately, teasing his growing attachment toward Charlotte playfully inside conversations. She cheerfully explained Alan gradually changed, surprising him through unexpectedly honest observations regarding compassion. Eruka praised Alan's dedication toward Charlotte sincerely, believing personal growth benefited everyone surrounding him positively. Charlotte gratefully acknowledged Alan's kindness warmly, recognizing unprecedented concern shown beyond ordinary family relationships. Alan refused Erika's transportation offer, requesting assistance creating magical tools while discussing Charlotte. Eruka happily accepted Alan's request, promising continued support regarding Charlotte's complicated emotional circumstances and safety. Charlotte secretly overheard Eruka praising Alan, becoming curious regarding their meaningful private conversations. She nervously approached Alan, awkwardly requesting assistance fastening inaccessible metal clasps behind her clothing properly. Eruka entered secluded curtains briefly, leaving embarrassed Alan anxiously imagining Charlotte's revealing transformed appearance. Alan erased overwhelming memories instantly, preventing dangerous embarrassment, while Charlotte exited curtains confused and speechless. Eruka helped Charlotte wear accessories carefully, while Alan awkwardly avoided watching their preparations. Alan listened suspiciously upstairs, realizing Charlotte struggled independently, while Eruka disguised conversations strangely downstairs. Charlotte revealed fashionable clothing proudly, though Alan worried excessive exposure appeared inappropriate publicly. Alan argued shorter skirts endangered women practically, while Eruka defended modern fashionable clothing passionately instead. Alan questioned Erika's suspicious behavior carefully, noticing unusual reactions regarding Charlotte's changing appearance throughout interactions. Erika proudly revealed Charlotte's exposed outfit, while Alan examined fashionable details cautiously indoors. She forced embarrassed Charlotte displaying revealing clothing publicly, ignoring desperate protests regarding inappropriate appearances. Eruka requested Alan's opinion quietly, while Alan and Charlotte struggled controlling awkward emotional. Charlotte begged additional covering immediately, feeling overwhelming embarrassment wearing revealing fashionable clothes before Alan. Alan approached blushing Charlotte, pretending calmness despite obvious concern regarding her uncomfortable expressions throughout. Alan reassured embarrassed Charlotte, praising fashionable appearance while adjusting revealing clothing. Charlotte struggled accepting compliments confidently, while Alan encouraged stronger confidence through serious attentive expressions silently. Alan noticed painful scars covering Charlotte's exposed back, immediately realizing brutal punishment caused permanent suffering. Charlotte explained strict punishment methods quietly, while Alan understood emotional fear controlling her painful upbringing. Alan silently healed Charlotte's scars carefully, using powerful magic restoring damaged skin completely. Alan explained healing Charlotte's scars casually, while embarrassed Charlotte touched restored skin. He continued healing Charlotte, while Eruka praised his medical abilities proudly beside astonished Charlotte indoors. Alan carefully checked Charlotte's remaining injuries gently, showing sincere concern regarding hidden pain throughout examinations. Charlotte remembered painful punishments, realizing magical scars remained, despite temporary pain eventually disappearing. Eruka regretted previous hesitation deeply, blaming herself emotionally after discovering Charlotte's terrible suffering endured. Alan angrily realized Charlotte's family deliberately abused her despite valuable noble engagement status. Examined remaining scars carefully, he understanding Charlotte endured hatred extending far beyond ordinary discipline practices. Alan concluded Charlotte received intentional neglect cruelly, while Eruka comforted smiling Charlotte warmly. He approached Eruka seriously, interrupting cheerful interactions while considering dangerous actions regarding Charlotte's abusers carefully. Alan requested Eruka's assistance confidently, while Eruka immediately accepted dangerous extermination plans enthusiastically without hesitation. Charlotte overheard Alan discussing extermination plans cautiously, while Eruka watched her surprised reaction. Alan disguised revenge intentions, describing Charlotte's abusive household merely containing troublesome dangerous insects. He admitted overwhelming hatred toward Charlotte's abusers openly, struggling controlling furious emotions while remembering everything. Alan and Eruka happily rested beside crowded streets, carrying purchases while enjoying successful shopping. Charlotte trembled nervously beside them, regretting expenses, while Alan questioned her unusual behavior. She anxiously criticized excessive spending habits. Although Alan calmly praised every outfit purchased earlier, Charlotte admitted wanting fashionable clothing opportunities, remembering countless stores displaying beautiful accessories everywhere prominently. Alan comforted Charlotte gently, explaining purchased clothes satisfied personal desires rather than unnecessary indulgences. Charlotte silently avoided Alan's gaze, while nervous thoughts overwhelmed her during peaceful restaurant seating. Alan questioned Charlotte's embarrassed reaction carefully, noticing unusual behavior while sitting closely beside her. Eruka mocked Alan cheerfully beside desserts, criticizing his awareness while Charlotte suffered embarrassment silently. She criticized Charlotte's oversized skirt preference, causing Alan's confused expression beside blushing Charlotte immediately. Alan and Eruka argued intensely regarding skirt lengths, exchanging hostile stares across cluttered room. Charlotte nervously stopped Alan and Eruka's argument, requesting peaceful behavior between both siblings. Eruka casually mentioned dangerous fighting possibilities, frightening Charlotte while Alan considered another mischievous lesson. Alan rejected fighting practices completely, remembering Charlotte's painful emotional training exercises previously conducted. He admitted emotional exhaustion honestly, while Eruka questioned his strange reactions toward Charlotte. Charlotte seriously explained fighting represented forbidden behavior, firmly correcting Alan's misunderstanding through sincere reasoning. Alan accepted Charlotte's explanation chuckled, while Charlotte watched him beside empty pathways, observed returning adventurers quietly, Alan imagining cheerful conversations shared between exhausted companions during celebrations. Alan suggested returning home soon, although Eruka immediately rejected ending their outing prematurely before evening. Eruka excitedly revealed restaurant recommendations enthusiastically, while Alan questioned her enormous remaining appetite skeptically. Eruka introduced cheese specialty dishes proudly, causing Charlotte's nervous reaction beside overwhelming meals displayed. Alan considered accompanying Charlotte, while hidden uncertainty troubled his thoughts regarding Eruka's competition. Eruka confidently declared victory impossible, losing proudly protecting Charlotte, while challenging Alan's determination. Alan reflected silently about Charlotte's happiness, believing peaceful laughter remained absolutely necessary protecting her. Eruka happily shared snacks beside Charlotte, while Alan desired providing greater happiness constantly instead. Alan quietly examined remaining money thoughtfully, noticing Charlotte eating peacefully across bustling restaurant tables. Aruka eagerly resumed wandering, leaving Alan and Charlotte confused beside restaurant tables abruptly. She approached wheelchair inventor curiously, while startled craftsman nervously answered her unexpected conversation request. Beside them, excitedly, Aruka admired magical wheelchair designs, overwhelming confused inventor through endless enthusiastic questions regarding craftsmanship. Inventor explained wind-powered mechanisms, while Aruka praised innovative construction methods with sparkling admiration. Charlotte quietly observed Aruka's fascination, noticing energetic behavior surrounding impressive magical inventions throughout marketplace areas. Charlotte imagined personal happiness shyly, until Alan interrupted thoughtfully beside isolated restaurant seating arrangements. Alan entered bustling marketplace while Charlotte followed silently, observing accessories displayed carefully beside vendors. Charlotte questioned Alan about accessories, yet he examined decorations attracting his immediate attention closely. Alan compared decorative ornament colors against Charlotte's eyes, causing her visible embarrassment beside storefronts. Alan purchased Charlotte's chosen accessory immediately, rewarding surprised shopkeeper kindly with excessive valuable payment. Shopkeeper chased departing Alan desperately, although he refused reclaimed gold coins without hesitation politely. Alan handed Charlotte purchased accessory, believing additional clothing already satisfied her previous interests. Charlotte wore hairpin accessory happily, admitting cherished emotions while Alan watched her brightened expression silently. Alan observed Charlotte confused because unfamiliar feelings disturbed his usually composed emotional condition greatly. Charlotte stumbled suddenly while distracted pedestrians approached carelessly, forcing Alan protecting her immediately afterward. Alan carried exhausted Charlotte protectively while suspicious strangers confronted him aggressively beside crowded marketplace pathways. Alan restrained murderous frustration while Charlotte advised peaceful behavior, calming his dangerous thoughts immediately. He apologized politely toward offended pedestrians, preventing Charlotte from suffering unnecessary emotional distress publicly. Suspicious bystanders recognized troublesome syndicate members immediately, causing tension surrounding Alan and Charlotte. Syndicate members demanded forgiveness arrogantly, though Alan remained confused regarding their unfamiliar organization. Alan proposed accepting apologies peacefully, requesting unusual compensation, while syndicate members watched beside Charlotte. Syndicate member demanded Charlotte overnight, causing Alan displaying terrifying anger before everyone immediately. Criminals approached frightened Charlotte shamelessly, describing inappropriate entertainment while Alan observed. Syndicate members mocked Charlotte's innocence, astonishing surrounding pedestrians, watching uncomfortable confrontation unfold publicly, immediately. Charlotte begged frightened criminals, stopping harassment immediately, though aggressive leader continued threatening behavior toward her. Alan punched syndicate leader, violently protecting Charlotte, immediately regretting losing emotional restraint before witnesses publicly. Alan furiously attacked the criminal, terrifying surrounding witnesses through uncontrolled murderous rage completely. Syndicate member activated magical weapon angrily, attempting revenge against Alan for injured companion unsuccessfully. Alan shattered dangerous weapon instantly, enraged because criminal threatened vulnerable Charlotte carelessly before him. Alan brutally defeated remaining criminal, relentlessly, warning severe consequences against anyone harming Charlotte again. Citizens celebrated Alan enthusiastically afterward, while defeated syndicate members collapsed painfully across damaged marketplace streets. Citizens praised Alan enthusiastically, while Charlotte quietly observed his embarrassed reaction beside cheering crowds. Alan apologized sincerely toward Charlotte, worrying violent actions frightened her during dangerous marketplace confrontation earlier. Charlotte comforted Alan gently, explaining his violent defense protected her from terrifying criminals successfully. Charlotte confessed, trusting Alan deeply, promising fear would never exist between them regardless. Alan accepted Charlotte's reassurance quietly, relieved she never hated nor feared him despite violence. Alan questioned his changing expectations, realizing Charlotte never abandoned nor feared him despite dangerous behavior. Smiled warmly beside Charlotte. Alan, admitting becoming comfortable teaching mischievous experiences while accompanying her daily. Charlotte listened quietly while Alan understood affection, unfamiliar emotions reshaping his previously isolated existence. Charlotte praised Alan's strength while examining damaged streets. Alan stayed calm, hiding exhaustion while reassuring her about dangerous attackers silently. Alan reacted awkwardly after Charlotte admired him. Crowds watched curiously while his confident expression concealed sudden embarrassment from everyone. Charlotte worried abandoned criminals would suffer sickness outside. Alan considered delivering captured troublemakers directly toward Vigilant Corps headquarters for punishment. Massive stone spikes suddenly erupted across crowded streets. Citizens panicked immediately, while mysterious magic disturbed Alan's serious attention greatly there. Alan protected Charlotte before enormous shadow creatures approached aggressively. Strange monsters accused humans while frightened civilians retreated behind defensive guards. Alan and Charlotte approached massive stone monsters calmly. Bystanders feared greater trouble while discussing dangerous criminals connected toward mysterious underground syndicates. Charlotte nervously grabbed Alan's cloak while calling his name softly. Alan reassured her immediately before examining strange movements. Alan protected Charlotte carefully, while enormous stone creatures shifted forward aggressively. Broken streets trembled heavily beneath gigantic bodies approaching citizens. Alan recognized one stone creature unexpectedly and questioned its identity as Megath. Seriously, the giant monster reacted quietly while staring directly toward him. Confused civilians watched silently, while Alan confirmed the creature's identity happily. Megath responded energetically, surprising crowds through unexpectedly friendly behavior. Alan greeted Megath warmly while remembering their academy years together. Megath angrily denied recognition, confusing Charlotte and surrounding civilians. Megath loudly insulted Alan while rejecting familiarity completely. Alan remained calm, despite hostile reactions from enormous stone creatures. Alan introduced himself properly and mentioned Athena Magic Academy. Megath paused silently, while reconsidering forgotten memories connected toward Alan carefully. Megath examined Alan closely while strange silence spread everywhere. His glowing eyes widened suddenly. After finally recognizing Alan's true identity completely, he immediately kneeled before Alan respectfully and apologized sincerely. Shocked civilians watched enormous destruction, while Charlotte observed their unexpected reunion silently. Megath apologized desperately before confused civilians questioned his sudden loyalty. Gang members mocked him violently. Megath attacked disrespectful criminals immediately after hearing insults toward Alan. Frightened thugs collapsed painfully while terrified crowds stepped backward. Charlotte became confused after Erica suddenly appeared, carrying books carefully. Eruka questioned Charlotte while discussing Alan's hidden background. Seriously there. Eruka explained their father controlled Athena Magic Academy proudly. Charlotte listened carefully while learning important information regarding Alan's influential family background. Eruka described Athena Magic Academy's prestigious reputation across many nations proudly. Charlotte observed silently while understanding Alan's remarkable achievements much better. Eruka showed Charlotte important academy documents while explaining Alan's magical talent. Charlotte finally understood their extraordinary abilities better. She explained Alan graduated Athena Magic Academy extremely young before becoming respected teacher quickly. Charlotte listened carefully toward impressive achievements. Charlotte reacted with complete shock after discovering Alan previously worked as teacher. Alan appeared confused because nobody mentioned his history earlier. Alan admitted becoming magic teacher casually, while Charlotte calculated their similar ages carefully. Erica watched quietly beside their awkward conversation. Alan explained he abandoned teaching despite enjoying his work greatly. Charlotte listened silently while noticing hidden sadness within Alan's expression. Charlotte gently questioned Alan about abandoning teaching. Alan listened quietly while avoiding direct explanations regarding painful experiences from Academy. Alan admitted disciplining disrespectful students aggressively during Academy meetings. Charlotte listened carefully while understanding reasons behind complicated rumors. Eruka revealed Alan attacked teachers afterward, causing severe trouble everywhere. Charlotte became shocked while Alan defended himself awkwardly before everyone. Alan remembered teaching Megath strictly during younger years. Megath recalled terrifying lessons while kneeling respectfully before his former instructor again. He laughed warmly while reminding Megath about old conversations together. Megath apologized repeatedly while frightened memories resurfaced inside his enormous stone body. Charlotte questioned Alan about his Demon Lord nickname. Alan denied meaningful connections, while Megath continued kneeling respectfully. Megath apologized sincerely for disturbing Alan within crowded streets. Alan listened calmly while feeling embarrassed about his frightening nickname again. Alan forgave Megath kindly and ordered him stand immediately. Megath nervously mentioned Alan's injured subordinate while civilians observed silently. He became confused after hearing Megath mention injured subordinate unexpectedly. He questioned whether Charlotte somehow belonged under his personal protection officially. Alan imagined Charlotte becoming family unexpectedly while considering Megath's statement seriously. Charlotte smiled innocently beside him, increasing his visible embarrassment. Alan finally understood Megath referred toward Charlotte respectfully. With confidence, he declared that Charlotte was his previous woman, while Megath remained silent. 2 hours later, Eruka returned happily beside Charlotte while Alan welcomed them quietly outside, noticing their joined hands. Charlotte describes delicious sweets excitedly beside Eruka. while Alan watched silently before noticing exhausted workers carrying heavy supplies through hallways. Alan angrily confronted careless employees beside overflowing garbage, forcing frightened workers toward cleaning duties, while Charlotte observed nervously silently outside. Workers cleaned enthusiastically under Alan's supervision, while townspeople praised restored surroundings, leaving Charlotte impressed beside marketplace stalls, greatly. Charlotte learned troublesome customers previously caused constant conflicts, making employees overwhelmed until Alan organized everyone carefully through strict leadership methods. Charlotte listened quietly while villagers praised Alan's influence. Learning his strict actions stabilized troubled workers throughout the city successfully completely. Alan dismissed Charlotte's worries casually, though she remained shocked discovering his harsh discipline transformed exhausted employees within only 2 hours. A woman misunderstood Charlotte and Alan's relationship completely, causing Alan immediate embarrassment, while Charlotte reacted silently beside confused villagers awkwardly. Alan remembered failing to reject misunderstanding properly, realizing his hesitant response accidentally damaged Charlotte's reputation before everyone watching closely. Alan struggled, explaining himself honestly beside Charlotte, while Aruka noticed his strange reaction and questioned his uncertain feelings carefully. Aruka departed cheerfully while Charlotte awkwardly suggested returning home beside Alan, whose nervous expression revealed lingering embarrassment. Alan remembered villagers calling Charlotte his lover repeatedly, causing him frustration while confusing feelings continued disturbing his thoughts deeply inside. He threatened lazy workers harshly using terrifying curse warnings, forcing frightened employees toward serious labor while Charlotte watched silently beside them. Charlotte questioned Alan carefully about dangerous curses, though he admitted fear alone motivated workers into greater discipline, without supervision from him. Alan decided everyone should return home together while Charlotte listened quietly, and Eruka happily prepared resting arrangements inside peacefully afterward. Alan suggested Eruka return home separately, while Charlotte listened quietly beside them underneath stone passages during peaceful nighttime conversations. Charlotte nervously admitted refusing sibling treatment toward Alan, while Eruka cheerfully promised frequent visits before leaving them together outside. Eruka declared their strange contest postponed temporarily, confusing Alan completely while Charlotte watched their argument continue beneath crowded streets silently. Eruka waved goodbye happily toward Charlotte, before disappearing into crowds, leaving Alan embarrassed from strange comments regarding brotherly responsibilities. Alan and Charlotte remained alone awkwardly beneath dark tunnels, silently avoiding eye contact, while uncomfortable tensions surrounded their quiet walk together. Charlotte quietly accepted awkward silence beside Alan, secretly realizing uncomfortable feelings around him strangely brought her unexpected happiness and comfort. Alan suggested returning home calmly, while Charlotte answered nervously, struggling controlling embarrassment beside him throughout their silent walk together. Reflected upon Eruka's challenge seriously, he realizing simple kindness and protection already brought Charlotte greater happiness than mischievous lessons ever could. He remembered Charlotte's smile, gifted hairpiece, and dangerous rescue carefully. Understanding those moments affected her feelings deeply toward him already. Alan guided Charlotte through dark forests peacefully, realizing love itself remained the greatest lesson he could eventually teach her sincerely. Eruka discovered terrified workers obeying their boss completely, while exhausted employees desperately begged injured strangers for assistance, avoiding dangerous imaginary curses. She watched confused workers continue strange behavior, nervously, realizing the boss's frightening warnings influenced everyone far more seriously than expected originally. Miyaha arrived cheerfully carrying canned drinks, while Alan sat silently outside the entrance, hiding frustration behind lowered eyes. She questioned Alan's strange behavior carefully, though he ignored embarrassment while remaining seated quietly beside the doorway, without explanation there. Miyaha corrected Alan seriously again, insisting he deserved respect as powerful demon lord, while Alan rejected exaggerated praise immediately afterward. Eruka suddenly appeared before Alan proudly, introducing herself dramatically, while Miyaha watched nervously beside the large mansion entrance confused completely. Miyaha and Eruka greeted each other warmly inside town streets, becoming closer companions, while Charlotte quietly observed their growing friendship happily. Eruka and Miyaha discussed Alan's unusual behavior, noticing his depressed posture while he remained seated outside alone. She suddenly questioned Alan directly about Charlotte, causing him panic immediately while struggling desperately to avoid answering her suspicious accusation. Alan nervously asked Eruka how she discovered everything, while Miyaha watched silently beside wooden stairs, without interrupting their uncomfortable conversation. Eruka explained Alan handled problems independently constantly, suggesting hidden concerns existed elsewhere, while Miyaha supported her opinion beside him. Miaha carefully asked whether Alan argued with Charlotte recently, causing him remember important events from the previous evening. Alan announced Charlotte's monthly payment, explaining her employment seriously, while Charlotte listened quietly beside steaming drinks inside together. Charlotte panicked immediately after hearing payment details, insisting her cleaning work remained insufficient, while Alan rejected her nervous complaints completely. Alan reminded Charlotte about her daily household efforts carefully, while she continued doubting her usefulness, despite improving their comfortable living conditions. Alan explained Charlotte's cleaning improved his entire lifestyle greatly, encouraging her accept deserved payment honestly while standing closely beside her. Charlotte accepted Alan's offered money nervously, lowering her embarrassed expression quietly while holding the small payment bag carefully before him. Charlotte became shocked after discovering Alan prepared 5 gold coins, while he insisted reducing the amount already carefully beforehand. Alan encouraged Charlotte spend her payment freely, explaining she deserved enjoyable experiences, despite unfamiliarity with carrying large amounts personally before. Charlotte hesitated nervously before finally requesting independent travel permission, while Alan listened seriously without interrupting her emotional confession there. She gathered courage and requested visiting the city alone, hoping personal independence would help her confidence grow significantly beyond dependence. Alan immediately rejected Charlotte's dangerous request internally, worrying seriously about sending her alone into crowded unfamiliar city streets without protection. Alan imagined Charlotte facing danger everywhere alone, worrying criminals might exploit her innocence while she wandered unfamiliar streets helplessly. He struggled between protecting Charlotte carefully and respecting her personal wishes, becoming overwhelmed while desperately searching for proper answers alone. Miaha and Eruka criticized Alan's excessive worrying, explaining ordinary city visitors caused fewer problems than his frightening imagination expected. Eruka noticed Charlotte rarely expressed selfish desires, suggesting her unusual request carried important meaning Alan should understand before refusing. Charlotte nervously withdrew her request immediately, forcing an embarrassed smile while asking Alan forget everything she mentioned moments earlier. Eruka and Miaha pressured Alan carefully, explaining Charlotte trusted his promise already while his hesitation continued causing unnecessary emotional. Alan finally permitted Charlotte travel, though Eruka considered her short destination exaggerated, while Charlotte celebrated excitedly beside him happily. Continued imagining dangerous accidents constantly, he worrying Charlotte might become injured during simple travel through ordinary forest paths alone unnecessarily there. Alan reflected upon constantly accompanying Charlotte everywhere previously, realizing separation frightened him because their lives remained deeply connected emotionally together. Alan accepted Charlotte's important request seriously, convincing himself respecting her independence mattered more than his overwhelming personal worries inside. Alan reflected deeply about Charlotte's happiness, realizing protecting her emotions mattered more than controlling every situation around her. Eruka and Miaha understood Alan's conflicting feelings, noticing he supported Charlotte's independence, despite personal anxiety remaining unresolved inside. Continuously there, Miaha suddenly presented Alan with another solution confidently, explaining his worries required direct action, rather than endless hesitation from him. Alan immediately decided secretly following Charlotte solved everything perfectly, while Miaha and Eruka criticized his ridiculous emotional behavior together, openly. Alan finalized his embarrassing surveillance plan proudly, deciding Charlotte's independent outing required hidden protection from dangerous possibilities around her completely. Alan reassured Charlotte confidently, while hiding his identity carefully, though Charlotte still worried silently about possible dangerous discovery around them. Charlotte accepted Alan's explanation calmly, wore unfamiliar clothes proudly, and prepared herself carefully before leaving the mansion independently alone quietly. She stepped outside nervously while Alan remained inside watching carefully, trusting her determination despite lingering concerns about safety during travel. Charlotte promised returning before sunset, then happily accepted Alan's dinner request while walking deeper through crowded forest pathways without hesitation. Alan watched Charlotte's growing confidence emotionally while companions mocked his reaction, realizing her independence changed their relationship completely for good. Alan announced Charlotte's mission confidently while Eruka and Miaha followed excitedly, planning secret support during Charlotte's independent city adventure. Charlotte entered crowded streets alone, studied her map seriously, and disguised Alan by following instructions without hesitation. She remembered Alan's precautions carefully while visiting market stalls alone, staying cautious around strangers and unfamiliar directions everywhere. Eruka compared Alan's behavior toward Charlotte with protective family affection, while Miaha mocked him loudly beside crowded marketplace buildings. Alan questioned Charlotte's shopping purpose quietly while watching distant crowds carefully, remaining unaware about her hidden personal intentions completely inside. Charlotte hid her true reason shyly from Alan, smiling nervously while protecting personal feelings, carefully behind secretive innocent words. Eruka and Miyaha noticed Alan's disappointment, realizing Charlotte's hidden answer affected him more seriously than expected emotionally inside. Alan watched Charlotte feeding stray cats silently, becoming shocked because Charlotte finally kept private thoughts separate from him independently for herself. He celebrated Charlotte's emotional growth dramatically, believing her hidden secret proved increasing confidence and stronger personal independence, completely beyond expectations. Eruka worried about Alan's overwhelming reaction, while he imagined Charlotte eventually requesting selfish things confidently, without fearing his judgment anymore. Alan refused discovering Charlotte's secret unfairly, choosing respectful observation instead, while Eruka questioned his unusually considerate behavior toward Charlotte. Prepared dangerous memory magic seriously, Alan determined protecting Charlotte's privacy completely, despite Miyaha criticizing his excessive emotional dedication dramatically. Charlotte studied her map carefully alone, gradually realizing unfamiliar streets looked confusing and different from expected directions during travel. Alan and Eruka noticed Charlotte possibly lost somewhere distant, causing Alan immediate panic while reconsidering her navigation abilities nervously. He remembered Charlotte's sheltered upbringing sympathetically, understanding crowded city streets and complicated maps created overwhelming confusion for her easily alone. Alan expected Charlotte requesting directions safely, though Eruka warned dangerous surroundings created serious risks for inexperienced travelers wandering alone. Miyaha explained the Mir district's terrible reputation, describing weak security and frequent hostility, threatening vulnerable visitors entering accidentally. Miyaha revealed dangerous adventurers controlled local streets aggressively, causing Alan and Eruka immediate concern about Charlotte's current wandering direction completely. Eruka described the Serpent Fangs ruthlessly, explaining their crimes, while Charlotte unknowingly approached the gang's headquarters carrying maps nervously alone. Alan avoided interfering directly with Charlotte's outing carefully, though growing danger forced him reconsidering passive observation seriously before disaster happened. Charlotte treated her personal mission seriously, fearing mistakes because she independently decided this important adventure without Alan's direct guidance. Alan suddenly abandoned cautious observation plans, leaving Eruka and Miyaha confused while rushing urgently toward Charlotte's dangerous current location. He crossed rooftops quickly across crowded buildings, moving secretly toward Charlotte while Miyaha watched his reckless pursuit silently from behind. Charlotte stopped inside unfamiliar streets nervously, realizing confusing pathways and damaged surroundings proved she wandered completely beyond intended destinations. A Serpent Fangs member noticed Charlotte wandering alone, silently approaching her position through ruined alleyways hidden beneath dangerous shadows. Charlotte encountered intimidating townspeople beside a man carrying snakes, while Eruka and Miyaha secretly watched the dangerous situation. Charlotte panicked fearfully when snakes approached closely, causing Eruka and Miyaha abandoning stealth immediately, while rushing toward her position. The intimidating group suddenly welcomed Charlotte, confusing her completely, while surrounding residents bowed politely toward their unexpected honored visitor. Alan finally arrived calmly beside Eruka and Miyaha, observing Charlotte's strange reception while questioning the gang's unusually respectful behavior toward her quietly. Alan explained threatening Serpent Fang previously, forcing local troublemakers promising Charlotte's safety carefully, while terrified members remembered his overwhelming strength. Eruka and Miyaha realized Alan defeated criminals beforehand, preventing bloody scenes from frightening Charlotte during her unfamiliar city exploration. Alan proudly explained his overwhelming dedication toward everything, while Eruka questioned whether compassion existed within his extreme protective methods. Glow, former Serpent Fang leader, sat injured hopelessly while wondering miserably why Alan's interference dragged him into constant unfortunate circumstances. Charlotte approached Glow carefully after noticing his injuries, while frightened gang members blamed Alan's violent attention for their painful, miserable condition. Charlotte hesitated nervously before expressing concern toward injured Glow sincerely, surprising him completely through her unexpected kindness despite frightening surrounding. Charlotte offered magical medicine kindly toward injured Glow, and even prepared additional treatment carefully for his small snake. Charlotte continued distributing medicine generously from Alan's magical storage bag, surprising everyone watching her endless compassionate behavior. Alan realized Charlotte carried enormous medicine supplies intentionally, understanding she expected encountering injured people needing immediate treatment. Eruka and Miyaha discussed Charlotte's excessive kindness quietly, while Alan explained producing cheap healing medicine beforehand prevented unnecessary confusion among injured citizens. Glow admired Charlotte sincerely after receiving medicine despite previous violence, while surrounding gang members emotionally praised her unbelievable compassion toward criminals. Charlotte became confused, seeing criminals suddenly worshipping her gratefully, unable understanding why everyone treated her like sacred royalty unexpectedly. Glow promised changing sincerely through Charlotte's kindness, while Alan proudly noticed her natural ability reaching troubled people's emotional hearts effortlessly. Citizens questioned Charlotte's relationship with Alan carefully, while she awkwardly explained becoming acquainted through unusual circumstances, instead romantic personal. Alan secretly threatened surrounding criminals aggressively beforehand, ensuring nobody revealed dangerous information capable ruining Charlotte's peaceful enjoyable outing experience. Charlotte nervously explained Alan sheltered her kindly because she lost her home, though their relationship remained difficult describing clearly towards strangers. Charlotte shyly described Alan as her master, causing Alan becoming embarrassed quietly while struggling understanding her innocent. Aruka and Miaha reacted dramatically towards Charlotte's statement, while Alan suffered embarrassment from the unexpectedly suggestive misunderstanding surrounding everyone. Suspicious citizens questioned Alan's intentions seriously, believing Charlotte's kindness contrasted dangerously against Alan's feared reputation throughout criminal communities across town widely. Alan reflected uneasily about Charlotte's purity beside his violent behavior, believing their unusual partnership exposed serious problems within society itself. Charlotte defended Alan warmly before worried citizens, insisting his gentle personality proved everyone misunderstood his frightening reputation completely, despite previous rumors. Alan overheard citizens discussing his emotional side quietly, while Charlotte continued speaking innocently, with surrounding curious townspeople beside him. Charlotte proudly announced Alan taught her naughty things, causing complete public misunderstanding, while shocked criminals stared toward embarrassed Alan. Alan reacted blankly toward Charlotte's dangerous statement, struggling processing the overwhelming misunderstanding, spreading rapidly throughout gathered crowds. Charlotte innocently described their enjoyable nighttime activities happily, unknowingly making surrounding listeners imagine extremely improper situations involving Alan repeatedly mistakenly. Alan remembered their harmless games and snacks together carefully, realizing Charlotte misunderstood entirely why everyone reacted with overwhelming shock toward her words. Alan regretted Charlotte's misleading statements deeply, while Eruka and Miaha watched silently beside their embarrassed, overwhelmed master awkwardly. Charlotte politely departed safely, while confused criminals worshipped her passionately, leaving Alan desperately correcting dangerous misunderstandings, spreading wildly across crowds. Alan released captured criminals calmly while warning them carefully, explaining Charlotte's safety remained his highest priority, above everything else. Citizens misunderstood Alan's protectiveness romantically, causing frightened reactions while others strangely admired his overwhelming devotion toward Charlotte. Alan laughed proudly while terrified criminals praised Charlotte, believing the feared demon lord acted completely because of her influence alone. Aruka and Miaha quickly prepared following Charlotte through crowded streets, continuing their secret observation mission enthusiastically, without attracting suspicious attention themselves. Glow suddenly warned Alan urgently about Charlotte's dangerous situation, causing Alan immediately abandoning calm behavior upon hearing alarming unexpected information. Glow warned Alan about dangerous criminal territory threatening Charlotte, causing Alan immediately preparing aggressive actions, without hesitation toward opposing factions. Alan confidently declared controlling the entire dangerous district himself, believing overwhelming strength alone could secure Charlotte's complete safety. Glow panicked hearing Alan's reckless solution, while Eruka and Miaha admitted Alan possessed enough terrifying power accomplishing impossible destructive plans. Alan defeated hostile puppet users easily, avoiding hidden attacks calmly, while mocking enemies incapable matching his extraordinary combat abilities. He confronted werewolves and troublesome customers aggressively, while Miaha angrily recognized familiar enemies responsible for repeated complaints against their company. Alan declared protecting Charlotte's favorite merchants fiercely, terrifying criminal organizations, while massive explosions echoed throughout the dangerous district. He casually assisted friendly merchants kindly during battles, supporting their businesses while continuing eliminating threats surrounding Charlotte's shopping route efficiently. Alan rushed confidently toward the district's final enemy leader, believing victory guaranteed Charlotte's future peaceful city visits without danger. He defeated multiple criminal leaders effortlessly, treating violent battles like exercise, while shocked observers questioned his terrifying, overwhelming strength. Alan forced defeated criminals promising peaceful behavior sincerely, while Erica doubted whether his extreme methods actually solved anything responsibly long-term completely. Former criminals reflected emotionally about Charlotte's kindness sincerely, deciding changing their violent lifestyles completely, while remembering abandoned families painfully. Charlotte's innocent compassion inspired troubled citizens, causing many criminals abandoning wrongdoing, while Alan questioned whether her influence exceeded reasonable expectations. Alan's hired escorts continued protecting Charlotte secretly while reporting mission progress carefully through organized communication across the cleaned district. Wolf escorts confirmed Charlotte completed shopping safely without injuries, proudly reporting successful protection duties toward Alan and surrounding companions. The Wolf escorts happily accepted payment, praising generous treatment while promising dependable future assistance whenever additional problems appeared, unexpectedly. Alan secretly questioned Wolf escorts about Charlotte's purchases, though they refused revealing private information regarding women's personal matters respectfully. Instead, the escorts continued avoiding Alan's questions, insisting revealing Charlotte's purchases would violate proper respectful boundaries toward her privacy. Charlotte suddenly thanked Alan warmly for protecting her shopping trip, causing Alan becoming embarrassed while realizing she discovered everything already somehow. Charlotte explained people discussed Alan's actions openly everywhere, while worshipping citizens misunderstood him manipulating their beloved compassionate goddess. Alan realized rumors regarding Charlotte spread rapidly throughout dangerous districts, leading him questioning hidden causes behind increasing citywide disturbances. Citizens praised Alan gratefully because removing violent criminals improved daily life greatly, allowing peaceful living throughout previously dangerous neighborhoods. Alan realized protecting Charlotte accidentally benefited countless citizens too, leaving him confused understanding how personal actions changed surrounding communities positively. Charlotte asked Alan about gathered crowds, while worshipping citizens continued praising their feared demon lord devotedly around surrounding streets. Charlotte apologized sincerely for distributing Alan's medicine freely toward injured people, while Alan nervously prepared asking an important personal question. Alan finally asked Charlotte about her shopping trip shyly, admitting curiosity completely overwhelmed his attempts remaining calm and composed beforehand. Charlotte nervously revealed shopping packages, while Eruka and Miaha recognized purchases from popular city stores, immediately beside surprised Alan. Charlotte suddenly presented gifts proudly toward Eruka and Miaha, completely shocking everyone watching her unexpected thoughtful kindness. Alan realized Charlotte visited the city mainly purchasing presents using her first earnings, leaving him emotionally overwhelmed by her sincerity. Eruka and Miaha celebrated their presents excitedly, thanking Charlotte repeatedly while proudly showing their new accessories and stuffed toys happily. Alan nervously asked Charlotte whether she purchased anything personally for him too, struggling hiding his growing expectations and curiosity completely. Alan desperately stopped everyone mentioning gifts, becoming embarrassed, while companions continued teasing him openly beside confused Charlotte awkwardly together. Charlotte explained, searching many stores carefully for Alan's present, though uncertainty prevented her finding anything personally satisfying enough yet. Alan emotionally declared happiness accepting anything from Charlotte sincerely, overwhelming her completely through his intense honest reaction towards simple gifts. Charlotte apologized nervously for misunderstanding Alan's feelings, while Alan immediately denied blaming her for anything related toward presents, awkwardly. Charlotte reflected realizing she understood little about Alan personally, despite constantly receiving kindness and protection from him throughout their relationship. Charlotte offered repairing Alan's damaged robe carefully, wanting supporting him personally, instead purchasing uncertain presents. She requested learning Alan's personal interests sincerely, hoping future presents would reflect genuine understanding rather than accidental misunderstandings between them. Alan accepted Charlotte's thoughtful promise emotionally, believing her willingness understanding him completely already became the greatest gift imaginable for himself. Charlotte happily returned Alan's book, explaining its fascinating content while Alan quietly watched her unexpected enthusiasm from his chair. Alan questioned Charlotte's reading speed, but she admitted the country's history and culture captured her attention completely during reading sessions. He explained ordinary citizens rarely enjoyed books because demanding responsibilities consumed their schedules, limiting peaceful entertainment and educational opportunities. Alan secretly provided Charlotte another book because excessive cleaning exhausted her daily, despite understanding her stubborn dedication toward responsibilities. He remembered Charlotte mentioning Athena Magic Academy earlier, realizing her impressive reading speed exceeded expectations, and revealed genuine intellectual. Charlotte discussed Athena Magic Academy enthusiastically, while Alan remembered difficult experiences there. Despite considering the academy his longtime residence, Alan quietly smiled, while Charlotte continued reading happily beside him, creating a peaceful atmosphere, which surprised him greatly inside. Alan asked Charlotte which destination interested her most, causing Charlotte to nervously examine several locations carefully before answering him. Charlotte hesitated nervously when Alan questioned her preferred destination directly, making her struggle expressing personal desires openly before him. Alan decided tomorrow's destination himself, while Charlotte reacted shyly because she secretly wanted accompanying him outside together somewhere pleasant. Charlotte worried about burdening Alan, yet Alan confidently explained his experience, carrying heavy luggage alongside relatives before during difficult travels. Charlotte admitted living peacefully inside Alan's mansion satisfied her greatly, while Alan listened carefully beside her without interrupting once. Alan trusted Charlotte's honesty completely, though her heartfelt confession created conflicting emotions which quietly troubled his thoughts for hours. He insisted Charlotte deserved unfamiliar happiness instead of constant labor, while Charlotte worried excessive enjoyment could change her personality permanently. Alan suddenly declared wanting Charlotte's happiness personally, leaving Charlotte speechless, while his emotional reaction revealed sincere affection immediately. Alan noticed Charlotte finally reacting positively toward his travel suggestion, causing him becoming excited beside her immediately inside mansion. He enthusiastically described sightseeing, delicious cuisine, and relaxing accommodations, hoping Charlotte would accept his proposed journey happily. Alan encouraged Charlotte, revealing her desired destination, while Charlotte shyly suggested visiting hot springs together during their possible future trip. Charlotte became overwhelmed embarrassment immediately after mentioning hot springs, desperately hiding her face while refusing to explain further details before Alan. Alan attempted using another curse dramatically, but Charlotte stopped him immediately, when unexpected knocking interrupted their playful argument suddenly inside mansion. Miaha suddenly arrived inside Alan's mansion, greeting Alan and Charlotte energetically, while waving her paw happily. She delivered mysterious special mail addressed toward Alan, surprising him because regular deliveries already arrived earlier during morning hours. Miaha revealed the letter contained luxurious travel tickets for 3 days, leaving Alan and Charlotte completely shocked beside her unexpectedly. Charlotte admired beautiful countryside scenery passionately during carriage travel, experiencing open landscapes freely for the first memorable time outside comfortably. Charlotte explained previous travels involved hiding inside carriages while escaping danger, preventing her enjoying peaceful scenery surrounding roads properly before. Alan explained, rural plains remained peaceful enough, preventing dangerous pursuers reaching Charlotte, allowing her relaxing comfortably during carriage travel safely. Charlotte happily realized nobody required disguises, making ordinary travel freedom feel unbelievably precious and exciting for her personally. Alan quietly observed endless plains through carriage windows beside Charlotte, while peaceful scenery gradually softened his serious expression naturally during travel. Charlotte admired surrounding scenery enthusiastically beside Alan, while Alan calmly admitted beautiful landscapes improved their relaxing journey together. Their carriage continued across Unoha Plains, beginning an important 3-day journey where Alan and Charlotte would spend meaningful moments. Alan examined the mysterious invitation carefully, admitting Crest citizens unexpectedly arranged luxurious travel plans personally for him recently in Charlotte. He explained, former criminals improved Crest's metal district significantly, working diligently while cleaning streets and protecting ordinary citizens from threats. Alan confirmed regular visits proved Crest's reformed residents sincerely maintained public security responsibilities, without causing further disturbances recently throughout town. Charlotte worried Alan preferred traveling beside Erica instead. Although local citizens clearly appreciated Charlotte's presence supporting regional economic improvement greatly, Eruka explained separate kingdom investigations required temporary departure, leaving Alan and Charlotte continuing their meaningful journey together independently for now. Alan assured Charlotte he genuinely wanted accompanying her personally, causing Charlotte becoming speechless while quietly listening beside him. Charlotte nervously looked outside carriage windows after Alan mentioned their lodging destination, struggling hiding embarrassment from his sincere invitation. Charlotte excitedly recognized magnificent seaside lodging from her travel book, immediately showing Alan detailed descriptions while admiring beautiful coastal scenery. Alan carefully read luxurious hotel descriptions aloud, explaining famous hot springs, skilled chefs, spacious rooms, and excellent hospitality services offered there. Miaha proudly revealed carefully arranged travel plans, while Alan suspected Charlotte secretly desired visiting luxurious seaside resort accommodations beside him. Charlotte nervously confirmed Alan's accurate assumption, becoming completely speechless while realizing he understood her hidden preferences. She praised Alan's incredible intuition sincerely, while Alan quietly considered teaching Charlotte additional common knowledge through practical experiences gradually. Desperately stopped Alan guessing further destinations, Charlotte insisting enjoyable hot springs alone satisfied her without discussing embarrassing preferences. Charlotte finally admitted personal embarrassment, prevented explaining her desired destination clearly, while tightly holding her travel guidebook nervously beside Alan silently. Alan questioned Charlotte carefully until realizing children frequently visited her preferred destination, leaving him thoughtfully analyzing her shy behavior. Alan stopped questioning Charlotte's secret destination further, though her unusual reactions already narrowed possible answers significantly inside his thoughts. He explained adulthood allowed people enjoying childhood experiences impossible, considering such freedom another important naughty lesson for Charlotte. Charlotte asked Alan about his own childhood regrets, causing Alan remembering responsibilities and difficult tasks dominating most experiences throughout youth. Alan described dangerous magical labor involving crystal mining and massive explosions, revealing unusual responsibilities forced upon him during childhood years. Alan admitted forbidden activities gradually became appealing over time, while Charlotte surprisingly considered his dangerous stories exciting rather than frightening. Alan gently reassured Charlotte he would never mock her preferences, while carefully comforting her embarrassed feelings beside him sincerely. Charlotte quietly answered Alan honestly, revealing complete trust toward him while nervously maintaining eye contact during their meaningful conversation together. Alan promised accompanying Charlotte anywhere she desired, eventually causing Charlotte becoming surprised by his sincere dedication toward her happiness. Charlotte happily accepted Alan's promise warmly, smiling brightly, while finally feeling emotionally secure beside him during their peaceful journey. Alan reflected upon Charlotte's lonely childhood carefully, deciding restoring her lost happiness remained his most important responsibility personally from now. Arrived beside Charlotte at Unoha Resort, Alan quietly planning additional naughty lessons, teaching Charlotte happiness beyond painful memories from childhood. A cheerful resort employee warmly welcomed Alan and Charlotte into Unoha Resort, introducing luxurious accommodations prepared carefully for distinguished guests during vacation across coastal plains. The resort employee received reservation letters cheerfully, while the resort employee confirmed Alan Crawford's booking, preparing accommodations carefully. Later, she guided Alan and Charlotte through elegant halls, explaining private hot springs remained empty during reserved visiting hours. Charlotte smiled excitedly about bathing first, while Alan calmly permitted her request, noticing her anticipation immediately beside him inside. The resort employee politely escorted Charlotte toward massive baths, while Alan watched silently, appreciating her unusually cheerful reaction throughout proceedings. The resort employee misunderstood their relationship completely, happily calling Alan and Charlotte honeymoon guests while both reacted with visible surprise. Alan and Charlotte froze awkwardly after hearing honeymoon comments, standing closely together while confusion spread across their embarrassed expressions. The resort employee excitedly assumed romantic involvement between them, causing Charlotte's face reddened heavily while Alan denied everything nervously. Alan rejected the misunderstanding completely, though Charlotte remained speechless emotionally, struggling calmly against overwhelming embarrassment filling her thoughts continuously. The resort employee revealed reservation documents carefully, explaining specific details, mistakenly convinced her Alan and Charlotte traveled romantically together. The employee proudly introduced exclusive couples services enthusiastically, while Alan realized Charlotte secretly seemed pleased hearing romantic assumptions. The resort employee recommended luxurious accommodations confidently, while Alan hesitated silently, becoming increasingly embarrassed hearing continuous romantic assumptions. Alan suddenly accepted the married couple package loudly, grabbing Charlotte's hand impulsively while her thoughts collapsed from overwhelming embarrassment. Charlotte followed Alan nervously through corridors, repeatedly thinking about marriage comments, while Alan struggled understanding his complicated emotions silently himself. The resort employee introduced enormous seaside hot springs proudly, explaining natural underground water supplied famous baths, attracting countless satisfied visitors regularly. Alan attempted calming his restless feelings, mentally imagining peaceful bathing scenery, while the resort employee prepared additional explanations carefully. The resort employee suddenly asked about swimsuits confidently, leaving Alan and Charlotte confused. The employee revealed enormous mixed-gender hot springs excitedly, explaining swimsuits remained mandatory for every visitor entering shared bathing facilities there. Alan sat exhausted beside crowded pools awkwardly, questioning circumstances completely while the resort employee cheerfully praised famous attractions. Alan worried nervously about swimsuits and mixed bathing, while several visitors relaxed comfortably together inside spacious hot spring pools. The resort employee escorted Charlotte toward rental swimsuits, enthusiastically, encouraging her patiently while Alan remained speechless, watching everything unfold. Alan imagined Charlotte wearing unfamiliar swimsuits, wondering whether seeing her appearance personally would completely overwhelm his emotional. Prepared himself seriously beside pools, Alan believing powerful shock from Charlotte's swimsuit appearance could immediately stop his heart. He attempted calming himself mentally before Charlotte arrived quietly, though nervousness returned immediately once her footsteps approached his direction slowly. Charlotte revealed elegant swimwear shyly before Alan, whose racing heartbeat vanished instantly, while admiring her breathtaking appearance silently beside sparkling scenery. Charlotte questioned Alan nervously while he answered calmly with genuine relief, admitting his overwhelming heartbeat disappeared naturally upon seeing her. Charlotte blushed nervously beside Alan, worrying her unfamiliar swimsuit appearance failed matching expectations, despite carefully preparing herself beforehand. Alan immediately denied Charlotte's doubts loudly, becoming speechless while staring intensely toward her beautiful swimsuit appearance, standing directly. He finally admitted the swimsuit matched Charlotte perfectly, causing her confusion and embarrassment grow stronger while listening carefully beside him. Charlotte shyly complimented Alan's appearance quietly, covering her reddened face nervously while both struggled handling overwhelming embarrassment together, there completely. Alan realized Charlotte shared identical feelings awkwardly, though she avoided explaining further and hurried him toward swimming facilities. Alan encouraged Charlotte gently beside hot springs, deciding swimsuit embarrassment mattered less than creating enjoyable memories together during their relaxing vacation. Charlotte relaxed, happily inside warm springs beside Alan, enjoying comfortable water while slowly adjusting herself toward unfamiliar surroundings. Admired peaceful scenery quietly, she admitting hot springs felt comfortable enough, making her wish remaining there permanently beside Alan. The resort employee warned prolonged bathing caused dizziness, explaining visitors enjoyed hot springs through different relaxing activities beyond soaking continuously. The resort employee returned carrying refreshments politely, while Alan appreciated excellent service provided throughout their unusual resort experience together peacefully. Charlotte received luxurious ice cream excitedly inside hot springs, becoming overwhelmed while Alan calmly watched her innocent reaction beside floating desserts. Charlotte happily tasted magical ice cream inside hot springs, becoming fascinated after learning special spells prevented melting completely. Other visitors noticed Charlotte enjoying dessert enthusiastically, causing several children request identical ice cream treats from their parents. Resort guests approached Alan, asking whether he could cast identical preservation magic onto additional ice cream desserts for everyone. Alan accepted confidently before unleashing powerful freezing magic across bathhouse waters, astonishing surrounding visitors watching his unbelievable magical abilities. The resort employee thanked Alan gratefully later, explaining magical ice cream popularity increased dramatically, while resort workers learned useful preservation techniques themselves. The resort employee cried gratefully toward Alan, while he calmly insisted his magic assistance never deserved excessive appreciation. Charlotte praised Alan happily beside remaining desserts, explaining visitors admired his magical talent after witnessing preserved ice cream. Alan realized simple actions meant pleasing Charlotte unexpectedly brought happiness toward surrounding guests, sharing peaceful moments together inside relaxing springs. The resort employee excitedly promised proper gratitude toward Alan, becoming extremely determined while discussing future appreciation enthusiastically before both visitors. The resort employee recommended sightseeing plans enthusiastically, introducing famous attractions and legendary Fenrir viewing spots surrounding coastal areas for visitors. Alan learned rare Fenrir beasts occasionally appeared around coastal regions, though sightings remained uncommon because creatures avoided populated human. The resort employee explained Fenrir sightings symbolized excellent fortune, traditionally, though travelers rarely guaranteed witnessing legendary magical beasts. Alan understood unfortunate timing reduced opportunities, since Fenrir creatures currently focused completely upon raising young offspring carefully. The resort employee recommended Unoha Magic Zoo instead, explaining visitors enjoyed magical beast attractions there far more reliably than wilderness searching. Charlotte reacted curiously toward suggested attractions, while Alan silently considered her interest carefully before forming thoughts about their upcoming destination plans. Alan arranged zoo sightseeing plans, while Charlotte reacted nervously after realizing he selected destinations matching her personal interests. Later Alan and Charlotte arrived before Unoha Magical Zoo, entering enormous gates displaying numerous attractions involving rare magical creatures. Alan explained gigantic facilities contained research areas and exhibitions, while Charlotte worried selfish requests forced unnecessary sightseeing activities upon him. He asked Charlotte whether magical beasts interested her personally, becoming surprised after hearing she preferred ordinary animals considerably more instead. Actually, Charlotte discovered peaceful petting attractions immediately, reading descriptions carefully, while becoming visibly interested toward calm magical creatures visitors could touch. Charlotte apologized shyly for becoming interested through guidebooks, though Alan immediately encouraged her curiosity toward enjoyable attractions. Charlotte noticed visitors from various ages surrounding exhibits, gradually realizing magical zoos welcomed families, couples, and adults equally without judgment. Alan learned Charlotte previously experienced magical creatures only through books. Understanding limited opportunities shaped many forgotten childhood wishes deeply inside. Charlotte remembered reading guidebooks long ago, secretly hoping one day she could personally visit wonderful places appearing inside colorful illustrated pages. Alan encouraged Charlotte enthusiastically, deciding both should enjoy sightseeing freely together, until carefree excitement made them feel like children again. Alan dramatically promised, recovering Charlotte's lost childhood happiness completely, causing her immediate agreement while following his energetic enthusiasm faithfully. She guided Charlotte through crowded attractions, deciding generous spending and enjoyable experiences mattered more than controlling magical abilities. Alan encouraged Charlotte toward souvenir stands, confidently, insisting she choose favorite accessories freely without hesitation while exploring magical zoo attractions. Charlotte selected matching animal ear headbands shyly, confusing Alan immediately after realizing she intentionally picked identical accessories for both themselves. Charlotte nervously requested Alan place matching accessories onto her, personally, leaving him completely speechless from unexpected closeness and overwhelming embarrassment. Charlotte worried Alan disliked matching accessories, though he immediately denied her concerns while struggling to hide overwhelming embarrassment completely. Alan hurriedly purchased matching headbands while blushing, causing Charlotte watch happily beside crowded souvenir stands inside excitedly during their unusual outing. Alan suddenly considered dangerous possibilities, realizing meeting acquaintances might eventually require erasing either memories or lives permanently from frightened witnesses. Alan wore cat ears awkwardly while Charlotte admired him happily. He accepted embarrassment. Charlotte praised Alan warmly beside petting animals inside peaceful attraction grounds. Alan struggled answering while watching Charlotte smiling. She stared emotionally toward fluffy creatures, surrounding the enclosure completely. Alan noticed her overwhelmed reaction while standing closely beside Charlotte. Charlotte cried excitedly because touching fluffy animals fulfilled her dreams completely. Alan watched her speechless reaction while understanding her happiness. Charlotte thanked Alan sincerely while crying happily beside entrance gates outside. Alan realized Charlotte finally experienced peaceful moments she previously never possessed. Charlotte cried emotionally while praising fluffy creatures surrounding the attraction. Alan gently comforted Charlotte. Charlotte rushed excitedly through attraction grounds, determined touching every fluffy creature personally. Alan followed behind while watching Charlotte's energetic behavior. Alan surprised fluffy creatures by speaking their language fluently outside attraction grounds. Curious creatures approached Alan carefully while requesting conversation. Alan explained, Charlotte loved fluffy creatures sincerely while requesting cooperation politely. The creatures listened carefully before accepting Alan's unusual request. Alan promised delicious food rewards for helping Charlotte enjoy attraction activities completely. Excited fluffy creatures immediately agreed, supporting Alan's plan. Alan called Charlotte toward rabbit creatures, resting calmly beside him. Charlotte remained silent before reacted to his call. Charlotte happily petted many creatures surrounding her affectionately inside crowded enclosure spaces. Alan watched nervously while creatures demanded Charlotte's constant attention. Charlotte discovered giant capybara creature, resting peacefully beside another woman calmly. Alan immediately recognized dangerous creature species from frightening stories previously heard. Alan explained terrifying capybara behavior while Charlotte fed creatures cheerfully. Visitors admired Charlotte's popularity. Charlotte proudly declared friendship with every fluffy creature surrounding attraction grounds. Alan smiled quietly, while exhausted creatures rested peacefully beside Charlotte happily. Alan translated creature voices while Charlotte waved happily beside him. He realized monsters treated Charlotte with unusual affection. Protective creatures threatened Alan whenever Charlotte received attention elsewhere nearby. Giant capybara calmly offered assistance while Alan criticized Charlotte's growing popularity. Alan questioned Charlotte about her strange connection toward monsters directly. Charlotte answered nervously, while Alan considered possible explanations. Charlotte looked confused after Alan suddenly asked whether monsters previously liked her personally. She waited quietly while Alan prepared detailed explanation. Alan explained Charlotte possibly lacked opportunities meeting monsters, because oppressive surroundings restricted her abilities previously. Charlotte listened carefully beside Alan. Alan explained special talents, determined magical abilities across their world. Charlotte listened quietly while observing Alan's confident demonstration. He demonstrated advanced magic abilities using powerful spells without chanting directly. Charlotte watched carefully while Alan explained different magical talents. Alan concluded Charlotte possessed rare monster taming abilities naturally, without training previously. Charlotte reacted surprised while remembering creatures affectionately surrounding her, compared Charlotte's unusual abilities against ordinary monster tamers carefully. he realized Charlotte controlled dangerous creatures naturally beyond normal expectations. He worried Charlotte's difficult upbringing resulted from frightening monster taming abilities secretly. Charlotte listened silently, while Alan imagined possible consequences. A nervous worker approached Alan and Charlotte joking about creatures surrounding him constantly inside crowded petting attraction areas during inspections. The frightened worker questioned Alan about magic abilities while Charlotte listened quietly beside him beside crowded attraction pathways nearby. The worker begged Alan saving trapped creatures immediately, while Charlotte watched anxiously beside massive dome structure silently from afar. Alan and Charlotte entered the magical zoo, while excited workers welcomed them loudly after hearing a magician finally arrived. Elderly director stared carefully toward Alan, noticing his youthful appearance, while Charlotte quietly remained standing beside him watching silently there. Several workers recognized Alan from public academy lectures, realizing he belonged within the respected Crawford family, while Charlotte observed quietly. The exhausted zoo director introduced himself, politely requesting Alan's magical assistance, while nervous workers waited behind him for immediate answers. Alan reluctantly accepted investigating the problem, while Charlotte followed closely behind him, entering deeper sections inside the strange magical zoo. Alan, Charlotte, and zoo director approached a massive cage quietly while strange magical lights surrounded the dark enclosure completely. A wounded Fenrir stood trapped inside iron bars, glaring cautiously toward Alan, while Charlotte examined the injured legendary monster. Zoo director explained poachers attacked the separated Fenrir earlier, while Charlotte worried seriously about the monster's painful physical injuries there. Alan learned illegal hunters targeted rare monsters constantly because valuable magical materials from their bodies earned enormous profits everywhere, illegally. He discovered the injured Fenrir rejected every caretaker, completely making recovery magic difficult, while Charlotte listened carefully beside him silently. Alan approached the injured Fenrir, carefully attempting peaceful communication, while the frightened creature growled aggressively behind thick iron bars. He realized monsters distrusted humans deeply, deciding trust must develop slowly before meaningful communication with the wounded Fenrir succeeded properly. Zoo director explained their workers lacked qualifications handling dangerous monsters, while the isolated Fenrir refused eating completely inside captivity. Charlotte worried gently about the suffering Fenrir while Alan silently considered possible solutions, observing her concerned expression. Alan learned another Fenrir, likely the injured monster's mother, approached the park quickly while workers panicked nervously around them. Zoo workers panicked, explaining magical scent removal should have hidden the captured Fenrir completely from pursuing monsters outside successfully. Alan realized the approaching Fenrir possessed extraordinary power exceeding expectations, because ancient monsters carried overwhelming magical strength naturally everywhere. He feared the enraged mother Fenrir could destroy entire cities easily while approaching rapidly, searching desperately for her missing child. Alan explained releasing the injured Fenrir remained dangerous, because untreated wounds and frightened parents could worsen the chaotic situation further. He prepared confronting the mother Fenrir personally, while terrified workers and Charlotte watched his determined actions from behind silently. Alan ordered evacuation preparations confidently, while Charlotte watched silently after he instructed her, leaving safely alongside frightened zoo guests immediately. Charlotte refused, abandoning Alan, completely reminding him about monster taming abilities, while insisting dangerous situations should never leave her behind. She politely requested permission, speaking directly with the injured Fenrir, promising immediate escape whenever circumstances became genuinely dangerous there. Zoo workers explained Charlotte previously calmed every monster peacefully, without magic causing shocked reactions from surrounding employees and director there. Several workers doubted Charlotte's abilities because Fenrir belonged among dangerous monsters, while Alan quietly considered her unusual connection seriously. Alan noticed Charlotte changed greatly, remembering her empty behavior before she courageously volunteered protecting the injured Fenrir. Accepted Charlotte's determination, he placing both hands across her shoulders, while requesting she persuade the wounded Fenrir. Alan asked the director, allowing Charlotte approach the child Fenrir because ordinary solutions could no longer resolve circumstances safely for everyone. Alan trusted Charlotte's unusual monster taming abilities, recalling previous experiences together, while preparing careful cooperation beside her calmly against the Fenrir. He declared their partnership officially beginning, while Charlotte confidently walked beside him, accepting responsibility, helping the frightened Fenrir together. Alan enthusiastically led Charlotte toward the Fenrir enclosure, while she answered confidently, preparing communication attempts with frightened wolves together inside. Alan noticed several Fenrir approaching together, realizing dangerous monsters traveled collectively, while his strange fortune attracted unexpected encounters across planes. He created a massive barrier surrounding the settlement, protecting frightened residents temporarily, while observing distant movement beyond defensive walls carefully. the injured Fenrir suddenly smashed through heavy structures behind Alan, causing destruction everywhere, while startling him completely during preparation moments. It growled fiercely above shattered ground, displaying aggression toward Alan, while blood dripped continuously from its mouth slowly. The enormous Fenrir released overwhelming magical power across ruined surroundings, roaring violently, while lightning erupted around its transformed gigantic body. Alan escaped the attacking Fenrir barely, realizing the creature intentionally distracted him before his protective defensive barrier activated around settlement. Observed the gigantic Fenrir carefully, he concluding the ancient monster probably survived centuries while protecting younger wolves from danger continuously. Alan demanded communication from the furious Fenrir repeatedly, but the massive creature answered only with violent roaring across ruins aggressively. Touched his head nervously, Alan deciding force remained necessary because peaceful discussion failed completely against the uncontrollable Fenrir leader. Immediately, he trapped several attacking Fenrir, using powerful ice magic, freezing their movements instantly while surrounding monsters screamed desperately in pain. Alan defeated smaller Fenrir surrounding him, then confronted the enormous mother Fenrir while questioning connections with younger dangerous creatures. He rushed toward the giant Fenrir directly, planning delaying tactics while Charlotte attempted convincing the stubborn monster peacefully elsewhere nearby. Alan activated powerful explosive fire magic against the enormous Fenrir, launching destructive flames across shattered battlefield ruins violently around everything. Watched the exploding attack carefully, Alan realizing instantly the magical blast failed completely against the gigantic Fenrir without causing injuries. He launched another fireball toward the mother Fenrir directly, doubting weak flames could seriously damage her thick protective fur. Alan dodged the giant Fenrir, avoiding harmful attacks because strong offensive magic could seriously injure the enormous creature. He noticed the exhausted Fenrir weakening gradually, worrying because limited magic options prevented effective attacks against the dangerous monster. The furious Fenrir suddenly swallowed Alan, while he strangely accepted defeat inside the creature's massive mouth. A fluffy petting monster suddenly landed onto Alan unexpectedly, interrupting the terrifying battle completely, while confusing him greatly during dangerous circumstances. The gigantic Fenrir roared angrily while Alan balanced across its nose carefully, struggling desperately to avoid another deadly attack. Alan ordered the small fluffy creature escape, but the confused monster questioned him, while destruction continued surrounding dangerous battlefield ruins. The fluffy creature refused, leaving Alan alone, explaining everyone gathered there together while gigantic paws suddenly appeared behind them. Ancient monsters arrived across the battlefield, suddenly surrounding Alan and the Fenrir, while enormous magical pressure overwhelmed ruined surroundings. Alan stared nervously toward the newly arrived creatures, realizing an ancient dragon and phoenix entered the dangerous conflict unexpectedly. Charlotte appeared riding enormous creatures confidently, surprising Alan completely, while strange monsters gathered peacefully around her, without showing hostility anymore. Charlotte comforted Alan calmly, explaining the young Fenrir survived safely, while the small fluffy creature happily rested within her arms. The mother Fenrir approached peacefully beside smaller creatures, while surrounding monsters gradually stopped attacking everyone across the damaged battlefield. Charlotte explained she patiently communicated with the Fenrir, eventually gaining trust while helping the injured creatures receive proper treatment. Numerous monsters followed Charlotte willingly toward Alan's location, gathering together because they worried greatly about the dangerous ongoing conflict. Alan learned Charlotte understood monster language somehow, while she wondered whether trained monsters could eventually challenge powerful demon tamers. Charlotte translated the Fenrir's intentions for Alan, explaining the monster's abandoned hostility and promised avoiding attacks against humans permanently. Charlotte requested the mother Fenrir leave her injured child, believing additional examination remained necessary, despite recovering conditions already for safety. The mother Fenrir lowered her head respectfully before Charlotte, pleading sincerely while trusting humans with her wounded child. The grateful mother Fenrir rubbed Charlotte affectionately, accepting peaceful resolution quietly, while the confused girl struggled understanding sudden attachment. Alan relaxed beside Charlotte proudly, until the small creature suddenly complained about something strange growing from its head unexpectedly. He discovered forgotten animal ears attached across his head, embarrassing himself immediately, while Charlotte watched the hilarious mistake silently. Several kidnappers searched forest paths carefully, believing protected children escaped nearby while discussing rewards and successful captures beneath moonlight. The kidnappers celebrated expected profits eagerly, but Alan suddenly immobilized them completely using powerful ice magic before escape attempts failed. Alan approached the frozen criminals calmly, mocking their predictable behavior while frightened kidnappers realized dangerous consequences immediately approaching them. Alan introduced himself casually before surrounding wolves appeared behind him, causing terrified kidnappers realizing unexpected monsters supported Alan completely now. The gigantic Fenrir emerged above forest trees suddenly, roaring aggressively toward terrified kidnappers while moonlight illuminated the dangerous creature. Terrified kidnappers begged Alan mercifully spare their lives, but he calmly ordered them accept punishment for committed crimes. Charlotte persuaded the Fenrir avoid killing poachers, while Alan secretly strengthened terrified criminals using defensive reinforcement magic against attacks. Alan smilingly permitted furious Fenrir release, accumulated anger freely, assuring protected poachers survived painful punishment, without actually dying from injuries. The Fenrir family continuously bit screaming poachers throughout entire night, delivering exhausting punishment while avoiding fatal injuries carefully under Alan's supervision. Alan thanked Charlotte sincerely beside peaceful scenery, while another customer suddenly reported witnessing mysterious Fenrir activity somewhere beyond distant lands. Charlotte humbly explained zoo workers healed Fenrir injuries, while Alan captured dangerous criminals threatening innocent children previously. Alan reminded Charlotte stubborn Fenrir refused treatment, explaining peaceful resolution succeeded, mainly because she communicated compassionately with protective monster parents. Alan praised Charlotte proudly beside beautiful scenery, encouraging her recognize personal achievements instead of ignoring important contributions toward successful negotiations. The grateful customer thanked Charlotte emotionally, celebrating rescued children returning happily while Charlotte listened quietly beside gathered belongings and peaceful surroundings. Charlotte finally accepted Alan's encouragement sincerely, smiling brightly while confidently acknowledging her meaningful efforts, helped everyone achieve peaceful resolution. Alan and Charlotte prepared returning home, appreciating enjoyable travels together while thanking the resort employee politely. Suddenly, loud destruction interrupted their departure completely, forcing Alan and Charlotte stop walking, while shocked voices echoed throughout damaged surroundings. Multiple Fenrir unexpectedly appeared before frightened citizens, while Charlotte recognized the injured Fenrir family approaching everyone peacefully without hostile intentions. Charlotte happily learned the young Fenrir recovered successfully, while Alan watched their emotional reunion with visible confusion beside gathered citizens silently. Gently hugged the young Fenrir lovingly, Charlotte realizing the affectionate creature wished traveling together beside Alan and her permanently. Charlotte realized the young Fenrir could visit family frequently, while Alan listened quietly beside cheerful citizens discussing travel possibilities. Alan invited the young Fenrir live within his mansion, requesting peaceful behavior while Charlotte watched their friendly interaction. He explained his mansion provided suitable conditions for monsters, while Charlotte agreed helping raise the young Fenrir together without hesitation. Alan proudly called Charlotte and the Fenrir family members, accidentally embarrassing Charlotte while remembering previous comments, comparing them with married couples. He gently held Charlotte's hands closely, sincerely telling her she belonged beside him, while flower petals surrounded their emotional romantic moment beautifully. Charlotte froze completely after Alan called her precious family, while flower petals drifted gently around their emotional conversation. Alan worried silently when Charlotte suddenly hid her face nervously, while surrounding companions watched their awkward interaction with curiosity during sunset. The cheerful resort employee teased Alan and Charlotte happily, recommending their reserved hotel become destination for an actual honeymoon someday.